first. Yeah, you you had a 10-mile head start, 2-4. That's called legal cheating, dude. Car wash, what's going on there, buddy? How you? Oh, sorry, I don't have allergies, but I've got, I don't know, a rogue hair in my nose, and it's making me sniffle and fucking sneeze. Sorry. Let me get rid of that. I should have got rid of that. I was about to say, Ryan, how's the weather down in Texas? You guys doing okay? I've got the most gorgeous sunrise going on here. I couldn't get here before it broke the horizon. I just couldn't get here. But this is what we got right now, and it's going up, and it's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. I can tell you honestly, the camera doesn't do it justice. Jim, good morning. How are you, man? Good to see you on this fine Sunday morning. Karen, always my pleasure. Good to see you. Give my regards and love to Alan as well. Sun's a-glowing. Where you at? Well, what are you, 2-4? You're what? 3 hours ahead of me? You're 3 hours ahead of me. So it's 11:40 there. Damn. You're well into your first couple of beer by now, aren't you? At 11:40 in the morning, or do you wait till noon? No, you don't wait till noon. Who am I talking to? Give my head a shake. All rockin' 7 of you is in here. Well, at least give me 7 likes, would you? Hit the like button. Sure will. He's been sleeping since 4 a.m. Good. Not just him, Karen. Hopefully you've been getting the appropriate rest as well and taking care of yourself. It's not easy, doing what you're doing while he's going through what he's going through. So please, Karen, take care of yourself. Make sure you're eating. Make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you're getting out and around and getting some fresh air. I'm one, but I've cut back with the new job. All right. I'm 1 in, but I've cut back with the new job. You're 1 in. 2-4 still on the coffee. What are you, sick? 2-4, get Mrs. 2-4 to check your temperature. Is there something wrong? I'm doing okay. 2-4, just having a rough night. Having a rough night, yeah. I'm sorry, Karen. Pretty smoky on the West Coast. No sunshine here, so for me. Oh, you know what, man? We've had it here today. Yes, the last 3 days we've had very minimal. Like there's actually nothing today. We got a pretty clear day. Last week, the other me, you thought it was fog, right? And you know what I'm talking about. You're on the West Coast, so with the smoke, you look up into the sky and the sun is actually red as it comes through the smoke cloud. Today we've got a pretty good day. You can still get a smell for it. There's a bit of a smell of the smoke, but it's not in your lungs. It's not, you're not gagging on it. And you can see, as you can see out the front of my car here, it's fairly, very clear. If you look up above the sun there, that's blue sky up there. And it's kind of nice. It's not bad. It's not bad for coming up the middle of September here. Or I'm at 13 degrees right now, and for me it's 7:45. So for you it's 6:45. Can't remember the time I drank a beer. I can't. No, me neither. I can't remember the last beer I had. I can remember the last drink I had, and I can remember what it was in combination with what chemical I was ingesting. But I can't tell you the last beer. I wasn't a beer drinker. At least 2 years. Oh, add 30 to that, and that's where I'm at. It's been 32 years since I've had a drink. Smoky there, yeah, 2-4. I imagine you guys are, half of your province is burning down as well, isn't it? Dodie, good to see you. Now, okay, Dodie, you went live the other night. Remember, you came in my live the other morning. You said that you were going live that night. I got the notification. I clicked on your live. I went into your live. I was watching what was going on. I tried to say good evening, and it did nothing. Nothing. So then I unsubscribed from your channel and waited about 10 minutes and then resubscribed to your channel and tried again. And actually, it wasn't 10 minutes, about 5 minutes. And still nothing. So I don't know what's going on. I suspect, and this is what I suspect, that there's somebody on your page or on your channel that has a wrench that is not agreeable with me, and they have me blocked. So I don't know how to go about fixing this because I miss you. So one way or the other, it'll get figured out. Can't go a day without weed. Well, dude, I don't do the weed either. Bootlicker saying, but all I know is it's been at least 2 minutes for me. 2 minutes. Any news on the fire in West Dalhousie 2-4? I'm that changes. It doesn't make any sense to me how it changes. These little crowns, 1, 2, because Goofy Bootlicker, you could make a comment every 20 seconds or 30 seconds, and then 2-4 could make a comment every minute, and he could still get the #1 crown for some reason. I don't know how it works, and I've not really invested myself into trying to figure it out. Well, I've smoked a big gagger, but well, okay, so at least you got something into you to get your heart started, right? Yeah, that counts. That counts. 2-4, I gotta ask you, do you guys roll them? Like, are you still old school? Are you still rolling a joint, smoking a joint, or are you doing the pipe and the bong with it? Like, all the kids these days, none of my kids know how to roll a joint, right? They don't. I still got to roll their joints for them if they want to roll a joint, but they're all on the bong and they've all got their pipes. So just kind of curious, do you and the missus roll a joint, or are you a bong boy? A bong boy. That sounds really wrong. Bong rips and big blunts. There you go. Your kids are retarded. No kidding, eh? No kidding. Because the funny thing is, Bootlicker, the funny thing is, the kids will, they'll hit the bong in the morning or whatever they do, and they do, then they go about their day, and then they'll come home and they'll just, like, they're jonesing, right? Go right for the bong. And I'm like, grab an empty cigarette pack, roll yourself up half a dozen doobs, right? Or get yourself one of those small cigarette carriers and roll yourself up a half a dozen doobs, and then, you've got it with you during the day. But they absolutely refuse to learn, right? They'll try it, but usually they're already half baked when they're trying to roll a joint. So Bootlicker, you know what that's like, right? You get somebody that's, well, actually not really, because I used to be able to be, never mind half baked, I could be completely baked and still roll a fucking tight doob. These kids these days, man, I'm telling you, they're soft. Bootlicker, they're soft. I might roll about 10 joints a year, and I can still put one together that will it's tight and right every single time. And I watch them smoke it, and they end up soaking it, right? They don't know how to smoke it properly. They smoke the goddamn thing, and by the time they've passed it back and forth twice, there's saliva halfway up the fucking joint going the other way. It's like, how do you guys smoke doobs? Like, is there something wrong with you people? I do my best learning when I'm baked. Oh, dude. Yeah. A lot of us did. Well, at least I thought I did. My problem was whatever I learned while I was baked, I forgot the next morning. You roll, eh? I don't even own a bong, and my wife does not partake. She don't smoke anything or drink. She says I'm her only bad habit. Well, she's got her hands full. No, believe it or not, they can use utensils. Bootlicker, they're pretty good with a fork and knife and spoon. Hubby smokes it, but not me. I prefer a nice drink. Well, you know what? I myself personally, like I said, I don't partake in any of it. But I think if I had the choice, if I was able to, and I didn't have, addiction problems and shit like that, I think I'd rather smoke a joint. I think I'd rather, get baked than get hammered. My problem is I didn't know when to stop. Right? I just didn't know when to stop. I couldn't have, like, Karen, you can sit down and have a couple of drinks, watch some TV, or sit out on the balcony, or whatever you're doing, have a couple of drinks, have some dinner, and then, enjoy your evening, go to bed, whatever. Me, I would start drinking, and I would not put down the last drink until the alcohol was gone, or I pretty much fell down. So I don't have that ability that people like you do, Karen. I don't have the ability to do that. Demonetized, you just showed how old you are. You just showed your age with that comment. That comment has been around since the 80s, man. I remember t-shirts back in the 80s with that on it. You've just shown how old you are, brother. Don't drink and drive when you can smoke and fly. Exactly. Good morning. How the hell are you, Demonetized? You're 55. Well, brother, I'm 55. Okay, there you go. You're showing your age, Jack. I know when to stop because my arms go numb. I didn't know when to stop even when my brain went numb. They don't call liquor spirits for nothing. Well, yeah. In my case, they were evil, dude. They were evil. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't a classy drinker. I really wasn't. I had zero class when I drank. I drank Jim Beam. Jim Beam, like it's the bottom of the barrel fucking bourbon, right? It wasn't even good. It wasn't even good bourbon. I drank Jim Beam, and I drank it usually, either from the bottle or in a glass with nothing in it, just straight. Like that is we're talking very, very little class. Like I couldn't even drink CC or Crown Royal or no, just bottom basement Jim Beam, Jim Beam. And if by chance I didn't have that or that wasn't available, I'd go to Jack. Never heard that saying before. I'm 31. Well, it's been out there a long time. $55 creeping up on me in the next couple of months. Well, 56 is creeping up on me in the next couple of months. Damn. The 50s have been pretty good to me. I've got no complaints about my 50s. Like I thought that when I went from 49 to 50, it was going to be like a life event, and oh my God, I've passed half a century, and nah, it's all good. It's all good. Oh my God, you guys make me feel old. Well, I'll be 58 in February. Well, that's not much older. Come on, I'll be 56 in December, right? 56 in December, so you're only 2 years older than me. You're not old. Although Karen, like you're aging like a fine wine, right? As you're getting older, you're becoming refined, and you're a fine wine, and you're getting better as you get older. Me, on the other hand, 2-4 on the other hand, we're aging like milk. Okay? If I sit out in the sun too long, I spoil. Jim is everyone's friend. Well, he was no friend of mine. He was just an acquaintance that liked to put a beating on me every night. Jim Beam and cocaine. Like, you can go through life really fast with Jim Beam and cocaine. And Jim really loved Coke, and Coke really loved Jim. They were great friends, and they'd team up and kick the shit out of me. Funny, I put on my wheel burner shirt this morning, and then you go live. Hey, it was meant to be. It was meant to be. As long as the D still works, I'm good. Hey, exactly. Demonetized? Exactly. You know? I've aged a lot this year. Well, you've been through a lot this year. Your spirit has aged this year. I'm telling you. I knew this was coming. I knew this comment was coming. I knew Dodie was still in here, and I knew this comment was coming. You guys are puppies. I'm driving 65. Yeah. And doing well, Dodie. And doing well. I'm retired from trucking, so I'm not trucking. I'm not driving 65. I'm coasting 55 right now. Right? Coasting 55, baby. Jim and Pablo. I didn't mind Pablo. Pablo wasn't too bad, but SFH, good to see you, brother. Damn good to see you. Always a pleasure. Thanks for popping in. Well, I'm at my first store of the day. Talk to you later. Well, dude, be good. Get out there and make that money. Get that green. It's all yours. If somebody else leaves it out on the table, Ryan, you go get it. That was the story of my life when it comes to business. Don't say no to anything reasonable. And if somebody else is stupid enough to leave money out on the table, I'm going to get it. So go get your money, buddy. We need a good dose of Nova Scotia air and family. Yeah, I could. Actually, the air quality today is really good, but there's nothing like the East Coast air, eh? Nothing like it. You get out in Nova Scotia and PEI, stand out there right on the coast, right on the water, and breathe that morning air. Karen, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing like it in the world. Oh, up that dose, Karen. It cleans the mind and soul. It does. It does. Many a time I've trucked out there, and many a time I've had to sleep while I was out there. And if I can get as close to the water as I could, I would. I used to love making deliveries out to PEI and get out there. I found for myself that was probably the best. It's the air is just fantastic. The feeling is just fantastic. The crispness of the air is fantastic. Yeah, and the sound of the water, right? If you can get right out onto the ocean and get right out onto the coast, the sound of that water lapping the shore, I'm telling you, nothing like it in the world. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the West Coast because I've never sat there on the beach or done anything like that on the West Coast in BC or Cali or Washington or anything like that. But I've spent more than enough fucking days out on the East Coast. We're just waiting for a federal government to pay Allen what they owe him, and we are gone for 30 days to find a place. Oh, man. I really hope that happens for you, Karen. I truly do. Hold on. Coffee time. Kicking Horse coffee. You grind your own beans. You can buy it ground or you can buy the beans. Let me tell you, man. Get the Kicking Horse coffee and get the and grind your own beans. Oh. Fraser Valley Farms, good to see you. How the hell you doing, man? The Pacific Coast stinks like seafood. Well, actually, depends on where you are on the East Coast as well, bootlicker. You can get that, that fishy smell, but whatever. But first thing in the morning. I'm talking first thing in the morning, like 5:36 in the morning. Actually between 5:30 and 6:30. Yeah, definitely. I think BC is like you get out Vancouver or whatever, you get out the West Coast. I think it's not just the fish, it's just pollution. The population and pollution, it's gross. Kicking Horse is super good. It is. I can't remember which blend we have, but we're going through them. Victoria and I are going through them. We're going to go through them all. This is the second bag we've got, and I can't remember what the flavor is. Damn, I wish I could remember. I can't, but anyway. We're going to go through them all and try them all. Although I'm not a dark roast guy. I don't like I think we froze. Oh, we froze for I had a phone call come in. Unfortunately. There it is. Another phone call came in. Sorry about that. Good morning. Who is it? Oh, fuck. Good morning, Camille. There's our main moderator of the channel. Good to see you, my brother. Always a pleasure to have you in here. Camille is, for the most part, the law. Keep your shit tight or he'll stomp you. Fraser Valley, I have no complaints, man. Like people want to complain, and if I had anything to complain about, it would just simply be that we've had a little too much smoke. But if that's the worst problem I've got in life, let me tell you, you know, I'm doing okay if that's the biggest problem I've got. Nick Earlman, good to see you, brother. How are you feeling? Bro? You up and around and you feeling better? You feeling all right? You back to 100%? Camille got the number one. There you go. See, that's what I said. I don't know what it is. Ruin It Randy. Love the name. Jesus. You've got the handle of the day so far, bro. Ruin It Randy. Cheers, fellas. Well, back at you, Randy. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in here. I love some of the handles you guys got. I really do. Look at Bootlicker. Bootlicker's putting he's putting 100 comments up trying to get that number one crown back. Exhausted, but I feel close to 100. You're back to work, eh? Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Nick. Glad to hear that. Saw an awful accident Friday coming from Marysville. Tractor hit something and ripped the whole bottom off his motor. Hey. Probably hit a concrete barrier, a Jersey barrier. That would do it. It's, you know, smashing up my trucks is not something I have to worry about because I just sit and watch them and I don't actually drive them. So I don't have to worry about smashing up my own equipment anymore. I got other people to do it for me. Excuse me. But coming out of Marysville, it's I don't know if it was on the 401 or not, but it doesn't matter. I haven't been on the 401 in 6 months, and you know what? I don't miss a single bit of it. I'm a little slower than I used to be, especially in conversation, but my reflexes are good. Do you have any physio or any kind of therapy that you got to go through, or have you already done it, or you know, 401 westbound? Well, there you go. That stretch of highway between basically between Toronto and the Quebec line, you know, that Quebec line and Toronto, It is, well, from if the stretch of 401 from the Windsor Detroit border to the province of Quebec, the Quebec line, that whole stretch of highway is the second busiest highway, traffic and volume wise, in North America, next to whatever it is, whatever that was, I-5 or whatever in California or something like that. It's the second busiest. So let me tell you something, man. If you drive that highway, Western Star, good to see you, 1979. Speaking of guys that drive that highway, there's one of them, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's not a matter of if you're going to see an accident or be in an accident or get involved in an accident. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, you know. A few years ago, they were having so many accidents, especially in the wintertime between Cobourg and Brockville. They were, the province, there were so many accidents, the province stopped counting the accidents, right? Going, okay, there was 5 accidents. Or they were actually doing it in tonnage, as if like when a submarine sinks a boat, oh, we just sank a 20,000 ton or a 20-ton fucking boat or whatever, right? That's how they were adding up the destruction on the 401. They were adding up the tonnage. I hate the 401 either direction. Then almost hit by 2 oversized. Hey, you know what? I've driven that highway. I don't know how many. Probably, I guarantee in my career I've probably done about 1 million miles just between Windsor and Montreal, and I still hate it to this day. I do. I still hate it to this day. Tennessee TV, damn good to see you, son. How the hell are you doing, man? Good morning, brother. Canada is number 1 in being a shithole. No, not Canada, not the whole country. Our politics is number 1 for being shithole. The country itself and the people here are good. They're good people. They're hardworking people. There's not a lot of us. There's only about 47 million of us. Right? California's got more people in it than fucking all of Canada does. But you know, it's a good country. Our government and our leadership and our policymakers all suck a bag of dicks. Yeah, well, you know, it's bootlicker. One of the reasons I moved to Alberta is because it's a conservative province, right? It's very, very conservative. There's very few liberal here. There are, but there's very few. You know, I can go right next door to BC and get creamed by the liberals. So that's one of the reasons I moved here. Well, that's not the main reason. The main reason I moved here was just the lifestyle. You know, the slower pace of life, the easier pace of life, the more comfortable. You can live a lot more comfortably here. You don't have to kill yourself to make a living. You can do very well. You know, you can retire earlier. You don't have to, you don't have to work till you're fucking 107. Like if I stayed in Ontario, I'd have to work until I was about 65, maybe even 70, right? Just to be able to maybe retire and probably have to get a job driving a frickin' Uber Eats car or something just to, top up my income. Out here, you don't have to do that. Which province banned going into the forest? I think that was New Brunswick, wasn't it? New Brunswick or Nova Scotia? It was one of those two. I think it was New Brunswick. They banned you from going into the forest, or not even into the forest, Karen. It was just taking a walk on a walking path, right? That had any kind of trees or anything, any kind of, a small forest, whatever. It was ridiculous. They were handing out, ask 2-4 will tell you, man. I think they were handing out $25,000 tickets, right? The first bunch of people got $25,000 tickets. How we doing? I'm glad we're buddies. Glad you're home and got a driver now. Dude, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Had a couple of really minor medical things. Nothing serious. Had some very minor surgery done. Nothing out of the ordinary. Got it taken care of, but yeah, we're doing good. Like I said, I'm enjoying out here the slower pace of life, Nick. Right? You're a Michigan boy, so you're still technically far east, and you're still you would be classified sort of like for us in our province of Ontario. And damn, man, like who wants to work that hard for so little? Right? Who wants to work that hard for so little? I really don't. I really truly don't. And I didn't. And you know what? When I got the opportunity to do this, I did it. I hated Atlanta during rush hour. They would just absolutely fly in. Atlanta is probably one of the worst at rush hour. Chicago, like fuck. Chicago is even worse because traffic backs up. Traffic backs up for Christ's sake, almost at the Indiana line. It's ridiculous. Atlanta's bad. Chicago's bad. Nashville used to be pretty bad. Obviously, LA is bad. New York City can be a hazmat place. But then when you come to Canada, you get during rush. Toronto, Tennessee. Toronto is our biggest city in Canada, and there is no rush hour time. It's always rush hour, unless you're going through the city between like 11 o'clock at night and 3 o'clock in the morning. There's rush hour and traffic is stopped. My anxiety gets bad between Scarborough and Brampton. I got it. Nova Scotia, and for good reasons. Got to put the bike in the shop chasing electrical issues. I can't find it off, so off to the shop. Dude, those Harleys should have gone with the Japanese. Sorry, I got a mosquito in here flying around. I'm just trying to, got him. Those goddamn Harleys, man. Should have gone with the Japanese bike. Alberta is still a bastion in Canada. Well, it is, and for the foreseeable future, it's probably going to be. Me and the wife are moving to Detroit area. What on earth makes you want to go to Detroit? Besides that it's cheaper there, because most of the city. I don't know. The last time, and this is a few years ago, I understood that the city of Detroit was bankrupt, and the city of Detroit was bankrupt, and the state of Michigan was bordering on bankruptcy, and that's why your roads are in such bad condition, your infrastructure is in such bad shape, your water and cheap housing, and it was so bad. So kind of curious why you'd. Unless you found like the golden gem in Detroit. J. Ray, good to see you. Holy shit, I found you. Yeah, my notifications are not really going out. This is only the second live I've done this week, and I wasn't live for about a month before that. So yeah, the channel's a little flat. There's not a whole lot going on with the algorithm, so we're just I went live a couple of days ago. We're live again today. We might do one tomorrow. See if we can get it going again. Doing all right, J. Ray. Hope you are too, man. Doing all right. Comfortably sitting. Why did they ban people They banned people, Dodie, because they've got such bad wildfires out there that, and the people, and they suspect that the risk, yeah, exactly, the risk of forest fires. And usually, not always, but usually a lot of these, in these dry areas, it's some hiker walking through the forest and he flicks a cigarette butt, right? He flicks a cigarette butt and starts and lights half the province on fire. So it's one of those situations, right? So they banned everybody from going into the forest. There's no hiking. There's none of that kind of shit. So I've talked to my girls and my son-in-law who was on the front line of Lockport fire and know the heartache went through. And well, I watched that when one of my daughters who lives in Jasper, her and her husband and my granddaughter, they live at the lodge at the Fairmont up there, and they had to be evacuated. What was that, last year, right? So I saw the devastation of what it does and how it displaces people. And they suspect that fire up there was actually started by, a careless hiker or a careless fire. Basically, every major highway is bad. Well, it is. Dude, you come here, okay, even in Alberta, you come here. Now, when you come out of, like, you come out of Ontario on the Trans-Canada, it sucks. The highway's bad. But for some reason, you get into Manitoba, it gets a little smoother and it gets a little cleaner and everything like that. Saskatchewan, you might as well just rip up the asphalt and be driving on dirt and gravel. And then you come to Alberta and it's about half and half. Like right off to my left, or sorry, right off to my right here is the Trans-Canada Highway going through Strathmore where I live. So it's right here. The Trans-Canada runs right dead center through the middle of our town. And if you go, 60 miles east as you're coming in, the highway turns to crap. Absolute crap. Or I may be able to help you on the bike. What's going on with I have a soft tail. Nova Scotia is in a drought and fire risk is extreme. Yeah, well, that's the same thing here, right? And then we got about 4 days of rain 2 weeks ago, which was great and it really helped with the fires, but it didn't put them out. So they're back. No way, Bri, you're Canadian. You don't understand Harley. I don't understand Harley. That's funny. That's funny, Dodie. I wouldn't ride a new Harley right now if you gave it to me. Honest to God. Honest to God, if you gave me a brand new Harley, the new Harleys, and even the new Japanese bikes, I'm not going to just. They're the same as the cars, and they're the same as the transport trucks. You spend $65,000 on a new Harley Davidson, and you're buying a computer. They throw the bike in for free. They've gone that way. If they were to say get back to, like the bikes of the 80s, the Harleys of the 80s, then yeah, maybe, right? Not now. Long leg fire still going and predicted to be for some time yet. No real rain in the forecast. Yeah, that's what sucks. You need the rain. You can't fight fires like that. You can try to slow them down or you can try to head them off, but you cannot you can't put one out. Thank you, Tennessee, everybody. I won't ask you to subscribe, but do me a favor, if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button. There was a firefighter in charge with lighting 20 separate fires. Yeah, that was Saskatchewan, and I think there was one in Quebec. A firefighter in Quebec that was suspected of doing the same thing. I don't think they charged him, though. But they know it was him, but they couldn't prove it. Government employees are goofs. All of them. Well, a good portion of them are not earning their wage. And their wage is paid by your tax dollars, right? Actually, right, Brian, the fire for 2023 was started by three young dunks thought it would be funny to go into the woods and dose rubber tires with gasoline to set the fire. Brilliant. That's just absolutely brilliant, eh? 65,000 on a motorcycle. Yeah. Absolutely garbage plastic junk. It is. And you know what? I'll be honest, it's I don't want a Harley unless it's an old one. And even then I don't want an old one. I prefer now to ride the Japanese bikes. I like this. Is my personal preference is the Suzuki's, the M109s, the Boulevards. Those are the bikes that I like. They're durable, they're reliable. They're not as let's say they're not as. You don't need to be a goddamn scientist right? A goddamn scientist to ride it or to own it, to know what's going on with it. You can diagnose it. So a lot of the Japanese bikes, and let's just face it, they're better built. The engines are better built. The engines are much better built than the Harley Davidsons. Harley Davidson, unfortunately, as a company, has been up and down, bought and sold, this and that, changed their ways, changed their methods, sent their workforce out of country, brought their workforce back to the country, it's just unreliable. It really is. You lost to 25,093.29 hectares. That's a lot of land that went up. Yeah. Did I tell you my land in Southern Oregon was in the forest fire? I have 3 acres in the middle of 3,000 acres that burnt. Luckily, there was nothing on it, right? There was nothing on it. It would have been a shame, Dodie, if your house was sitting in the middle of that and you lost that too. Or say you had a storage or something and your bike and all, your possessions were in there. Burner mine's an 09 Heritage Softail, and you can actually work on it. It's not that bad, but yeah, definitely go with the newer price. The newer prices are ridiculous, right? When I say 65,000, I'm talking Canadian, Tennessee, right? So that's, and you can go even north of 65, right? You can get a fully loaded out Road King and you're close to 80 grand, dude. Right? With all the trimmings on it, you're close to 80 grand. So convert that to American. So you're probably still close to, say, 55,000 bucks, 60,000 bucks. I think the price is now high because the older generation of bikers is fading out. Well, not just that, but the older generation of guys that were riding the older bikes, a lot of them, like myself, have gave up on the Harley. They didn't want to, what they would do is they'd buy a Harley, and every 5 years, turn it in and get another Harley, right? And then sell it 5 years, if they were lifetime riders. And I think what they found, that as Harley was going up and down and going through all their different transitions and all their problems, that they were, through the early 2000s and mid 2000s, the bikes were so much garbage. It's not that they retired from riding bikes. Surprisingly enough, in the United States and in Canada, the Japanese bike market started going up because all of those guys weren't willing to ride the fucking Harleys anymore. They believe it or not, a good portion of them switched over to Japanese bikes. And these are all guys like me that were going, I'd never drive Jap crap, never done, that's pretty ignorant, but that's the way we were thinking back then. Yeah, well, guess what? A good portion of them now are riding our Japanese bikes. The old school Honda Goldwings. Dude, those things almost sounded like Ferraris, right? When they were winding out. They're sweet. They're sweet. And if you look around, especially in Alberta here, if you look around, there's a lot of guys out here still riding the older Goldwings and the Yamaha Interstates. Nice bike, man. They're nice bikes. They're comfortable as hell. Like, you can get on the damn thing and you can ride it, all the way across country, and it'd probably be more comfortable than you would be in your car. You got to tell you, Dodie's got us with just over 1,000 miles. You're not even classified a bike rider. You're a bike owner. If you've got a 2014, and I know you've had it now for several years, if you've got a 2014 and all you've got is 1,000 miles on it, you're not even classified a bike rider. You're not, man. You're just a bike owner. Come on, Dodie, you got to get out on the bike. Street Glide, 103 twin cam. I got to ask you, on your bike, have you installed any of your own lights? You didn't go and get the lights for underneath and all that kind of shit and put them all on yourself, did you? If you did, that could possibly be one of the problems that you're incurring if you've got electrical issues. Because even yours, I think you said yours is a 12, it's still got the ECM and the ECU computers on them. And if you start cutting into wires for lights and it's not done properly, it's going to start messing with other electrical issues. It's going to start throwing a different other electrical issues at you, and the bike is going to let you know. It's the same with, like, say, a Freightliner or a Kenworth or anything like that. Unless you've got an old truck, like an 80s or early 90s or 90s truck, if you go and put the mud flaps on it and you've got the lights on it, and then you want to put some chicken lights on it, you want to do all that. Anytime I ever did that, I always took it back to the dealership on the newer trucks and let them do it and install it. Because if you try to do it yourself, next thing you know, you got a check engine light, right? You're an '09, only 35,000 miles. That's pretty goddamn good. That's 50,000 kilometers or 54, whatever, 1,000 kilometers. That's not bad. I was about to start building a log cabin, but now it's toast, so I have to wait a few years. Well, you know what? Depending on how bad the ground around was burned up, you know what? You could, it might have saved yourself a little money in clearing. I have a 76-year-old friend who rides an 81 Goldwing. The bike has over 4,000 clicks on it, and it's still going. Japanese, man. Same with their cars, right? Hondas will go. Hondas and Toyotas, those goddamn things will keep going, right? The fucking wheels will fall off before the engine gives up. Like, I've had Hondas where, we're mileaging them out to over 300,000 kilometers, and there's not a thing wrong with them. Regular oil changes and regular maintenance. 1,000 miles of grocery getting. Exactly. No extra lighting. Well, okay, that's just a thought that popped into my head. Hey, I'm busting my butt driving my truck. That actually rhymes. You should have that put on a t-shirt, Doty. Hey, just the way you've written it there. Hey, with 2 exclamation points. I'm busting my butt driving my truck. Not to mention my truck is 100% paid off. So, and I used to ride my 350 Honda Chopper when I was younger. How the fuck did you ride a chopper? Doty, you're only 4 foot nothing. I've stood right beside you. I put my bloody arm around you and I had to lean down to do it while you were standing beside me. What'd you do? Have fucking, like, great big boots on with, like Gene Simmons Kiss boots? Great big you had a set of platforms on so you could reach the ground? How the hell are you riding a chopper? But congratulations, Doty, on getting your bike paid off, or your truck paid off. I know you were on the cusp. What, like 3 times? You were like 1 or 2 payments away from paying it off, and something would happen, and trigger would go down, and next thing you know, your payment is extended, and good for you. Good for you. If it's finally done, it's finally done. That's good. What's yours is yours now. Now, Doty, you got to go get yourself a nice Freightliner Cascadia. Nice big old piece of plastic to barrel down the road in. Get yourself something that's going to get you about 9.5 miles per gallon compared to the 6 mile per gallon that Trigger gets you. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm busting Doty's ass here. Her truck is stunning. Okay, I've seen her truck. I've been in her truck. Her truck is absolutely fantastic. I'm sorry, Doty, I don't remember the age of what year your truck is, but it is a beautiful truck. It's an old girl, and she runs great, and she sounds great. But I'm telling you, we're going to go back to that old argument, Doty. It's costing you more in fuel than a new truck payment would be. The only thing I hate about my bike is that it's so damn heavy. 967 pounds, just the bike, not counting saddlebags and weight. Yeah, 967 pounds. Jesus, Tennessee. Fuck, dude, you're not exactly a huge guy either. What do? You got to throw down the kickstand at every light you come to? Look at me I'm just taking shots at everybody today. Feel free to take some back. I'm good. I don't know. I'm just having one of those funny moments. Honda VTX 1800 for me, same weight. There you go. I've not kept up. J Ray, I have not kept up in, say, the last 10 years, not even, maybe even longer than that, but 10 years of Hondas. The cars, yes. But the motorcycles, no. You know, I haven't. I don't know. There's just something about the Honda motorcycles that just. I rode motocross when I was a kid, and so did my brother. And he was riding Honda. I was riding Suzuki, and from that time on, I've always loved Suzuki. And then even as I got older, and then I started buying and purchasing bikes. Don't get me wrong, I had a 92 Heritage Softail. I had a 99 Sportster, but I preferred the Japanese. And of the Japanese, I preferred the Suzukis. Freight Shaker, now that's funny. There's no way I would buy a FLR. That was a piece of crap. Hey, just saying. My bike is roughly 1,000 pounds without me on it. Jesus. Is that what they're weighing out these days? That Boulevard is only, I think, 7 something. And that's with the hard case saddlebags and the hard case on the back of it, right? The hard case saddlebag, and it doesn't break 800 pounds. And that's an 1800cc bike. Bring it? I can bring it. I know you can get it. You can take it. You'll dish it out. I'm not huge. I'm only 188 pounds. 188 pounds. Fuck. Last time I weighed 188 pounds, dude, I was like 17. When I was 20, I was an even 200. Right? And by the time, and that was an even 200, and that was a lean 200 pounds, right? As a 20-year-old, I was a lean 200 pounds. I'd worked up to that. And even now, I'm 30 years later or 35 years later, I'm only 220, but still 188. Dude, you got to start making more shorts of going through the drive-thru and eat some more of that goddamn crappy food that you eat. £188, that's 2 of you. Yeah. I've wondered sometimes how when you're strapping a load, right? How the hell you get that bar, how you get enough weight on those straps to get anything down, to get anything tied down. You probably got both feet off the ground on one of the crossbars under the trailer, and you're yanking on that fucker for all it's worth to get those things, to get those straps tight. You definitely got to stand on the deck to get your binders tight, right? If you've got the ratchet binders, 2 of you. I'm 6'2", 228. Yeah, I'm 6'2", 220. Strapping a load, giggity. Dodie's strapping a load. Watch out, J. Ray. If you get in her way, she'll strap you to the deck, take off with you at 200 miles an hour. My plan is to mount a chainsaw engine to my bicycle, cheap commuter for summer, instead of my Suburban. I can't believe in the last couple of years, the scooter market is absolutely, or the electric bike. What do you call it? Yeah, the electric biker. It's not the bikes. They're the stand-up. You stand on them. We used to kind of have them as kids. They were like skateboard with a pole and a handlebars. But those goddamn electric things now, they're all over the place here in Strathmore, and in Calgary, Toronto, any of the major cities. It's like, fuck, man. You don't got to watch out for pedestrians. You got to watch out for goddamn the electric bikes and those electric, I don't know what you call those scooters. They're not scooters, but they are a pain in the ass, man. No, I said to Victoria the other day, I want to try that. And she just rolled her eyes and looked at me and said I was fucking nuts. I at least want to get on one and try it, right? Just so I can, just see what it's like. And where we were at Best Buy the other day, and they've got the e-bikes, the actual bikes, and they're, it's $1,000 for one of those things. Again, that's Canadian, but this thing looks like, something from the future. Kung Fu keeps you in shape. Well, whatever works for you. If I tried to do Kung Fu, I'd probably knock myself out. I was 155. Oh my God. 155 pounds. I took a dump this morning bigger than that. But was really in shape, wrestled all the time, and did MMA. Honestly, I think wrestling messed me up, gaining weight, because I had cut weight every other week. Or that will fuck with your system if you are constantly cutting weight. If it's something you're constantly doing. Scooters are popular, but I've seen too many vids of them lighting on fire. I've not seen any of them lighting on fire. I've seen some horrific, bales where some guy's on it or some girl's on it, and she's either going too fast for the road conditions, or she goes into an intersection and gets smoked, or he or whatever. I've seen 100 of those. I've never seen one that light on fire. I need something with an actual engine to feel manly. Well, hey, strap your chainsaw engine on that. Or if you've got an old tired lawnmower, strap that on there. Actually, you don't even need that. You know what you need? You know what'll work for you, bootlicker, is if you've got an older gas-powered whippersnipper. Those things put out enough power. You just got to change the clutch mechanism and the gear in them. And those things actually put out enough power. They have enough horsepower to motorize, and you can put on a scooter. You can actually put them on bicycles. $155 crap. What do you Canadians eat? Well, I'm telling you, I must be the exception, Doty. Right? I'm 12, and 2'4" is the exception too. 2'4" is the exception too. I'm 6'2" and 220. And I've leaned down, right? I've leaned down. I was 240, 235 for the longest time. I'm now down into 220 territory, and even still, I'm slipping down and getting a little. I'm not going to get much lower. Some of that is just now my age and my inactivity, but 255 pounds. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that weighs 155 pounds. I rode in a Tesla recently, and I'm not a fan, but it actually surprised me how fast it was. But I'd never own one. I'll never own one. I've been in an electric car once. It wasn't a Tesla. It was one of those Volt, like a Chevy Volt. And it was somewhat impressive. But no, I'm all against the electric car, the electric truck. I don't know how I'm kind of on the fence of how I feel about the electric bike, but the electric cars I'm so against. Everybody's saying they're saving the environment, and they're not. They're really not. The carbon footprint that is made to build a Tesla, that Tesla has to run for 50 years to cover that carbon footprint. So the 5 years that you might get out of a Tesla, like a worthy 5 years that you might get out of a Tesla, it doesn't make up for the carbon footprint it took to make the Tesla. And people don't realize that. They just think, oh, it's a green car. It's good for the environment. Dude, no, it's not. What it took to build that fucking car probably burnt more fossil fuel than my car that I'm driving now, or the Freightliner that I had would ever burn. Right? That is ridiculous. I can't take the guys with the electric stand-up scooters seriously. They are reckless as shit. They are reckless. Quinn, I agree with you. Especially when going in and out of intersections, because most of them out here are riding on the fucking sidewalk. Right? So they almost think that they're pedestrians, and they just go ripping out into intersections across lights and this and that. And like I said, I've seen hundreds of not just videos, but I've seen a couple where, you know, you're going through the intersection and there's the ambulance and there's the scooter and there's the guy, and it's nah. I can't take him seriously either. I rode in a Frontier Tesla. It was cool, but I wouldn't buy one. Like my 98 Dodge Ram 3500, 5.9, 24-volt 4x4 5-speed dually. Gee, is there anything else? You got it all in there. Yeah, I would take a Dodge Ram. I'd take any combustion engine right now over a Tesla. I was joking around with a friend of mine on the phone, and he's like, if somebody, like, he's like, don't be such an asshole, Brian. Like, if somebody fucking, if you entered a draw and you won one, would you? No, I would I would drive it from the dealership to my house, put it in my driveway, and put a for sale sign in it. I would not even drive it. It's all yours. I'm 5'6", 140 pounds soaking wet, but it's a bonus because I don't eat much as the giants. It's also a good thing because you don't have as far to fall when you get hammered, right? At 5'6", that's a short trip. You don't hit the ground as hard as I do. At 6'2", 220, when I fall down, it's like watching when they saw a big tree down. It's like watching that fucking thing. It takes about a minute for the thing to fall over. How fast do the electric dirt bikes go? I don't know. Tennessee, I don't know. I haven't given them much interest, and I haven't researched it or looked into it. I don't have a goddamn clue how fast they go. I know that those scooters, the electric scooters, I know that those things clip along. Like, for example, the street that I live on, the speed limit is 30 kilometers an hour, and I'll be going 30 kilometers an hour, and there'll be some guy on one of those stand-up scooters on the sidewalk going by me, going faster than me. So they go faster than 30 kilometers an hour, and 30 kilometers an hour is roughly give or take 20 miles an hour. So, you know, do the math, right? If I'm doing 30 and he's passing me, that thing's probably capable of doing 25, 30 miles an hour. You know me, silly. I'm 125, give or take. Yeah, that's with 125, give or take. That's with your hat on or your cowboy hat off. Electric dirt bikes will smoke a two-stroke all day long. Well, yeah, that's true. And same with the Teslas, right? You know, you've all seen it. I've seen it. You take a Tesla. What is it? That dual engine, or the dual Model S, I think it is. You put that on the quarter-mile line and you put it up against a Hellcat, and it'll beat a Hellcat, right? But that's only because it's all torque. And there's no gear shifts. There's no hesitation. It's just one long wheep and off you go. And the torque on them is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, like a combustion engine just can't compete with an electric car. But I can take the car, for example, I'm driving right here. I can take this car and drive from here to the next province and not have to put gas in it. Right? You can't do that with a Tesla. If you and me both started in Strathmore and drove to Ontario, right, and you're driving a Tesla and I'm driving this little Kia, I'm gonna beat you there by about half a day, because I got to stop, and it's going to take me, say, 5 minutes to put 45 liters of gas into my car, and then I'm gone. You have to stop and charge that thing, and it doesn't matter how fast you drive. I'm going to beat you there. So I don't know. And you know what? The batteries on those things are, like I said, they're good for maybe if you get 5 years out of it, you're lucky. You're having a good day. Yeah, exactly. Tennessee, as far as the electric cord takes to unplug. Exactly. Ridiculous. Exactly, ridiculous. They're torquey as shit. Exactly. I've never broken a single bone in my body. Well, I've broken everything but my neck and my upper back, my lower back, my back. I've never really broken my back. I've damaged my back, but I've never broken it. Other than that, brother, I've busted everything. Legs, arms, shoulders, collarbones, fingers. There's nothing on this body that hasn't been put back together at some point or another. I'm 5'11", 188. My dad's same height and weight, and he's 230, but he's 230. That's still pretty good, man. The only thing I broke was my tailbone. It was the worst. I couldn't sit or stand. I've busted my tailbone. I actually had to have surgery done on my tailbone. I busted it so bad. The plaid Tesla, I think, is the fastest. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Yeah. I'd like to see a Tesla line up against the Skyline. I'd like to see the race, but I think if the plaid Tesla is the fastest one, I suspect that Tesla is going to win. It's just a matter of torque against torque, and it's just a matter of, it's not how fast you can shift the gears, because even in the Skyline, you know, even with the paddle shift, the automatic transmission or paddle shift or however you're shifting your gears, or a manual, that 1/100th or no, it's not 1/100th to switch a gear. I think it's like 3/100ths of a second to switch a gear. That 3/100ths, that Tesla is going to get 5 feet on you every time that you have to switch gears. That thing doesn't have to switch gears. There's no pause, no hesitation. It just goes, and it just keeps on going. I don't know what the top speed is on one of those. I don't know what the top speed is on a Tesla. My broken back has lived with me since I was 21 years old. I got used to the pain. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Unfortunately, Doty, most of my back issues and any physical issues and ailments that I've got, it's due to abuse when I was younger, that I didn't get proper medical attention when I probably should have. You know, I've reset, some of my own fingers. I've never reset my arm, or if I snapped my ankle. I've never reset any of that myself, but I've got serious back issues, and I should have gone to the doctor. I should have gone to the hospital, and I should have sought medical attention. I didn't, and that's on me. That's on me, and I'm paying for it now. It would have to be a built Skyline, and it might get it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, as far as I know, like, you take those Hellcats and those Demons, the new Corvettes, they smoke the Tesla still smokes the new Corvette. I don't know. I'd like to, if you've got a video, if somebody's got one of a tubbed out fucking done up Skyline, or even a GTR, I'd like to see it. I have not seen it. No, good to see you, man. Kind of low view count. No, you're right. It is. I haven't been live in a long time. I have not been live in a long time, so my channel is flat. Like, I went live this morning and probably the notifications didn't go out to anybody. You know, it just, it's going to take a little bit of time to build my channel back up again. Just go live every couple of days from now on and get back into the algorithm. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. I'll be happy to sit and talk to 9 people. I don't care. I know I do this as much for my own entertainment as for you guys. So just Googled the plaid. It said it tops out at 175. I don't doubt that. I've had a Hellcat up to that speed. And it still had more to go. I ran out of road. I had to get off it because I ran out of fucking road. I like cars, but I fucking love dirt bikes. Dirt bikes are better. Well, dirt bikes are fun, right? They're fun, but dirt bikes are like a hobby, right? Unless you're a serious motocross rider, right? And you're teamed up or sponsored or something like that. Then it becomes a lot. Dirt bikes are a hobby, you know. You don't see a lot of guys running dirt bikes up and down the road, up and down the highway. No, I like them, but I love the Harley more. Yeah, riding dirt bikes fucking destroyed my knees. right? Riding motocross absolutely destroyed my knees and my ankles. Even with all the gear on and even with the pads and the braces and 4 years of riding motocross and same with my brother. His knees are gone, right? If I have to reach down, this is embarrassing, but if I have to if I'm in the kitchen and I have to reach down and get like a pan or a pot from one of the bottom shelves under this, by the sink or something, I literally have to get down on my hands and knees to get it, right? Because I just I can't bend over like that. I can't get down that far anymore. I gotta get down on my hands and knees, reach in, pull it out, and then I gotta get back up again. Now it's not the quantity, it's the quality of friends. There you go. Thank you, Dodie. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, there you go, suckers. You got to look at this. Oh, I took the dog out last night. I was standing out back having a smoke, and I got just swarmed. Like in the time it took me to smoke a cigarette, I absolutely got smoked in mosquitoes. And one of them got up under my shirt, and it's right up there, and it's driving me bananas. Absolutely fucking hate it. Yeah. Had my 2012 GT500 to 225. Had to get out of it. Front end was getting light. 225. What's that in miles? Hold on. 225. 150. About 160. 100. What's that? About 165, 170 miles, something like that. I've had a GSXR, like one of back in the late 80s. The bike was a late 80s. It wasn't my bike. I had a GSXR up to about 160 miles an hour going up the QEW from Mississauga, and we were going to Buffalo. We were going into New York State. So Pat, my buddy of mine, Pat, both him and his brother Neil had one had a GSXR 750, and Neil had the ZX11, the Cowie. And we got on those and we tore up the highway at about 2 o'clock in the morning going over to Buffalo to go to Club Exit. Another day, another senior citizen stabbed on public transit in Canada. I didn't hear about that. Where was that, Basmatic? I did not hear about that, brother. Karina, unfortunately, it happens, It happens. Don't want to drive anymore. Retired from driving, man. And there's no sense in keeping that truck, doing what we do out here, working agriculture. There's no sense keeping that truck out running when 90% of all the AG equipment out here, they're running the old 6NZs and the 60 series Detroits. So, because there's no emissions requirement out here in Alberta. So, unfortunately, yes, I said, like I said on Ernie the other day, I will send you your check for $5. You like see me put my foot in my mouth? That happens a lot. That happens a lot, Dodie. You know that. You like that? Hey, this one, look at this one, 2.4. This one's probably an early 90s. This one's an original, and I got to be careful with it, right? Because it's falling. Look how faded that is. Like, that's all faded out. That's all. This one's from early 90s. It's pretty bad. But I've still got it, and I still wear it sparingly. This one goes into the wash machine on a gentle, and then gets hung to dry. Like, it doesn't go in the dryer. There, that's pretty fit. There's that pretty face. Look at this. Here we go. Here's that pretty face trying to get back on my weight joke. Bring him on. Bring him on. Toss him. I'm good. What's a man got to do to get a mod around here? You don't want to know. You don't want to know. To be a moderator on this channel, oh, I'm telling you, the line is long and distinguished. He sold the freight shaker because it fell apart. He just doesn't want to admit it. No, actually, the freight shaker was still running really well. It was, it was still, it's a 2020, and it still put out, 8.2, 8.3 miles per gallon. It was down, right? But it's a 5-year-old truck with just over 1,000,000 kilometers on it. And, it still ran very well. No check-in. It was probably the only truck, because I had an emissions Volvo. I had another emissions Cascadia that I had a driver in. I've had several emissions trucks, including this Freightliner, and this is the only one that didn't cause me any emissions problems. Like, aside from, I had to replace the inlet and outlet NOx sensor and the DPF pressure sensor. But other than that, this truck cost me nothing for emissions and anything like that. It's just regular wear and tear. I've been very, 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 very lucky, or I was very, very, very lucky about that. R.I.P. Aussie man, that one bothered me. Think about it in terms like this. The man did everything he wanted to do in life. There was nothing left for that guy to do but die. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not happy the man passed away, because I loved his music more than anybody I know. But the fact that he made it to the age that he made it to, holy fuck, Tennessee. You lived the life that guy lived, you and me be dead already. How guys like him and Keith Richards are still alive, or were alive, he's dead, but Keith Richards is still going. I'm convinced that when Keith Richards dies, they're going to cut that guy in half, and they're going to find the cure to every disease known to man. It's all in there, because he's ingested, smoked, drank, ate, burned, everything there is in life to do, fucked. He's done it all, and nothing's killed him. Now I'm going to be hungry. Another great truck driver retired. Sorry. You got to get to a point where you don't want to do it anymore, and it's time to hang it up while you still can. And you might as well. And that's another reason we moved out to Alberta, right? I don't have to, if I was back in Ontario, I'd have to work till I was 65 or 70 before I could retire. Baloney, you never fixed that fuel tank problem. Yes, I did. I ended up having to take both tanks off, because there was a very, very, very small hole under the front strap on the driver's side. And they ended up fixing it. And that little hole, because the new tanks are pressurized, right? It's not done by gravity like your truck is, Doty. Which is the best way to do it. They should have never messed with that. But because the tanks are pressurized, the air would be slowly seeping out, which would unbalance the tanks and push all the fuel to one side. And we thought that, there was no hole. That was something that we looked at and didn't find it. And it wasn't until I finally went, fuck it, and spent the money, took both tanks off, had them both inspected, did a pressure test on both tanks, that they found the hole. So yeah, when that was done, and that was done before I moved out here. So yeah, with the fuel tank problem was issued, or was taken care of. I'm still rattled. Aussie is gone. Well, you know what? Find something else. I hate to say that, but find something else. There's a lot of good music out there right now. Not great music. There's a lot of good music. A lot of the old boys are still out there jamming. Some of the older bands from the the 80s, early 90s, metal bands, they've run out of money, so they put the band back together and they're going to do a farewell tour. They've all done it. Crew did it. Poison did it. Fucking all those hair bands, they all did it. They made their millions back in the 80s and 90s, and then spent it all. They stopped or broke up and spent all their money and partied all their money over the last 20 years, and now they need money again. So, hey, guys, let's put the band together and do a farewell tour. I think the only band out there that or one of the only bands out there that never had that issue is right here is Metallica, right? Those guys, I don't know what the net worth of those guys is, but they're none of them. Every single member of that band could retire today and not spend the money that they've got. So I just wish he could have finished that last tour and could have just laid around the house with grandkids. Yeah, as he used to be on every drug. Oh, dude. Like I said, if he could burn it, he'd smoke it. If he could snort it, he'd fucking snort it. If he could drink it, he'd ingest it. If he'd eat it, he gulped it. It's incredible. Hey, I'm leading this race. Yoo-hoo. I'm smoking everybody. You're number two. You're number two. What are you talking about? You need to put your glasses on. That's what happens when you're 65, right? Hetfield is worth $300 million. There you go. You think he needs to work? You think those boys in that band, like if Hetfield's worth $300 million, Hammett's got to be close. Lars has to be close. I think the fourth guy. What the fuck? What's his name? Somebody. 2-4. The bass player Metallica. Jesus God. Not Jason Newsted, because he's the old bass player that is gone, but right. Thank you. Demonetized. I don't think his net worth is going to be as high as say Hetfield's and Hammett's and Lars, but I guarantee you he can retire. These guys don't need to be out on tour. They're out on tour still, and they've got a much okay, 6 Eyes, funny guy. The touring schedule they've got now is nothing to compare to. They tour because they want to, not because they got to. Cliff Burton was the original, right? Was the original. And Cliff Burton's still making money off the royalties of those first fucking 3 albums too. So Cliff Burton ain't hurting it for any money. Remember when Lars tried to stop the... Yeah, that was... he was in... Robert Trio was in Suicidal Tendencies too. Yeah, but that wasn't the... Suicidal Tendencies didn't make the kind of money that Metallica makes. Right? Not even close. Napster. Right. He went to war with Napster and lost. Like, they did lose. But I think it was enough to bury Napster, because obviously Napster folded up their tent and went home. And Metallica still owns, like the name Metallica is incorporated, and they are a business, and they own all of their own music, and they also own all of their own masters, right? They own everything. They own all of their masters, all of their T-shirts, all of their everything that says Metallica on it. They get the money for it. There's nobody else getting any of that. Cliff ain't hurting at all. He's dead. Well, yeah, but his money situation wasn't that bad. Nobody, good to see you, man. Sorry, just jumped into the live and conversation. Hey, jump away. Jump away. This conversation could go sideways at any minute, so feel free. As of mid-2025, his net worth is worth estimated between 30 and 40 million. Not bad. He's not scraping the bottom of the barrel to get by, you know? So, you know, now you think about it though, right? Lars, James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and Kirk Hammett were already doing Metallica 25 years before, 20 years before Robert Trio got there. So obviously their net worth is, substantially higher, but a 30 to 40 million dollar net worth, he's not living in a fucking 2-bedroom townhouse, in the projects. He's doing okay. He's probably got himself a nice little pad, and he's doing all right. If Metallica stopped right now, just the royalties alone would pay them probably millions a year each. Millions and millions of dollars a year. Although from what I think it's only Lars and James and Kirk that are members of the band. I think Robert Trio is an employee. I think he's part of the band. Don't get me wrong, he's a band member, but I think he's an employee. He's a salaried employee. Same as like when Gene Simmons, he ended up buying out everybody in Kiss. So Gene Simmons owns all of Kiss, the name, the masters, all of the music. He owns it all, and all three other members are all paid employees, right? They only get paid when they're on tour. They're paid employees. All royalties go to Gene Simmons. Got to go. Dodie, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Don't know what's going on with my live, Bri. I'll keep trying to get it right. Love you guys. Bye. See you later, baby. Be good. Be safe. Trio only played on 4 Metallica albums. Well, there you go. That's exactly why his net worth is only 30 to 40. And you know, let's say it's 40 million, so he's making 10 million an album, right? So that's still not bad. 10 million an album, and you put out an album every couple of years. Well, actually, it's not even every couple of years. It's probably Metallica. It's probably every 3 to 4 years now. But still, right? 10 million an album? Robin, damn good to see you, man. How the hell are you? We are doing okay over here. I'm just looking at a field. We watched the sun come up. And, yeah, we're just sitting here looking at the goddamn field. There's nothing going on out there. I'd do it. Yeah, I'd do it too. You know, if I had a reduced touring schedule and I was only making an album every 3 to 4 years and it was paying me 10 million bucks, yeah, Nick, I'd be all on board with that. I really would. Damn, Metallica's net worth is $1 billion. That's not surprising. That's not surprising at all. You know, I think there's a couple other bands out there, not single performers, but bands. Like obviously, I think the Stones are probably worth over $1 billion. There's a couple more that are worth that kind of money, but come on, man. Right? You got a band like Metallica that's been doing, 30 plus years now. The net worth of the band alone has to be over $1 billion. True, it was also in the Infectious Grooves too. Never fucking heard of that, man. Demonetized? I've never heard of that. I don't know. I'm trying to sit here and think if I've never. Oh, I need to check my Powerball ticket. It's 1.8 billion here. 1.8 billion. I don't think a Canadian lottery has never broke $1 billion. You know, they've gotten up to like 120, 130 million. Mind you, again, our population is 1/10 what yours is, right? 1/10. So I know that when I used to run those ingots, the New York State Powerball used to get up over $1 billion and I'd buy a ticket, right? So, because Canadians can win, we can win the U.S. lottery. If we win it, and they have to give us our money. You have to fight for it, but they do give it to you. Have you ever heard of Scatterbrain? No, I've been called a Scatterbrain. I've never heard of them either. Am I missing something here? Demonetized? AC/DC did 25 dates in Europe and 25 in North America and are expected $1 million. $1 billion. Yeah, well, that's another band. Look at the years. Right? Look at the years. If you just take the AC/DC name, right? Look at the fucking years that band has been around. There's another band that's 30 plus what? Well, Back in Black came out in 1980. So there's 35 years, 35 years right there. 80. 90, yeah, 30, 35 years. Well, so they've been around forever, right? Forever. So yeah, they got to be worth over $1 billion. So they're going to do 50 dates, 25 in Europe and 25 in North America, and they're going to make $1 billion on it. Like any of those. Somebody Google what Angus Young is worth or Brian Johnson's worth. See what they're worth. Funny how people love billionaire musicians but not successful business owners. Ain't that the fucking truth? If you're a successful business owner nowadays, they look down upon you like you've done something wrong. Oh, he probably cheated. He screwed somebody. He fucked someone over. It's not cool to be a successful business owner today. You can be a billionaire musician. It was what? Claim what? Claim F. Sorry, Nick, I'm not following you on that one. These freaks are here to party. Infectious Groove. Never heard of it. Check out the band Scatterbrain. The song is I'm Not Going Down with the Ship. It's comprised of about 20 different songs. I'll check that out. I got no problem with that. Hey, those teeth look fantastic. No, thanks, man. Waited long enough for them. But they're in and they're working and they're great. And I'm liking it. Still learning to talk, right? Still got a couple of tripping over my tongue here and there. Eating, I've pretty much got the eating down and mastered, but it's the talk and it's the making the S's. Every once in a while, I'll do an S and it'll whistle. Can't do anything about it. On iTunes Music, AC/DC is still top 10 in every category of hard rock, single, album, and videos. I'm not surprised. Angus is worth $160 million. Not bad. Now, think about this as well. These are probably U.S. figures, right? U.S. dollars. So 160 million U.S., you're well over 200 million Canadian. Not a bad bank account, eh? If you've got enough money in the bank that you can go to the tallest building in the city and you can look out and anything that you can see, you can buy. Anything you can lay your eyes on. Like I could stand on top of this car and look at all of that land out there and know that I could just stroke a check and buy it and it would not affect me in one way or the other. That's a lot of money. I was referring to the Powerball. The 1.8 bill was claimed by a guy in Texas and a guy in Missouri. Oh damn! They had to split 1.8 billion. Oh, $900 million. Again, that's American. So you're still at You're still at $1.4 billion Canadian. They got to share it. Yeah. And see, as a Canadian, I can win the Powerball. So let's just say we'll use a round figure. Say it's $1 billion, right? I could win the Powerball, but then in the U.S. they take the tax right off the top, right? But I'm not Canadian, so I don't pay U.S. taxes. So they will take on $1 billion, right? So they'll take their 450, 400, whatever. Say let's just say round figures. They'll take half. They'll take 500 million, and they'll give me the other 500 million. Which is, oh darn, right? That's scraping the bottom of the barrel. But then I come home and there's forms here. I don't know what the form is, but I fill out a special, or my accountant would fill out a special form, submit it to the IRS, and I get that money back. And it probably take about 6 months to a year to get it, but I think I'd do okay with the first 500 million while I'm waiting for the second 500 million. For you guys, they take your tax right off the top. In Canada, we don't pay tax on lottery winnings until you go and put the money in the bank. And let's just say, for example, you were stupid and you took that money and just put it in your checking account. And you're making what? 1% in interest, if you're lucky. And then that interest is now considered income. And that's what they would tax you on. right? So now you've got to get away, you got to get around that. So you've got to invest the money, you've got to do this and loophole that, and it's not hard to do. But in the US, they take it right off the top. In Canada, they don't. I get the whole amount. If I won $1 billion in Canada, they give me the whole $1 billion. 242 million in Australian dollars. I'm sure you could get by with that. Could you, demonetized? You do all right? Not quite 900 million. Uncle Sam steals a bunch from you. Yeah, but I think as well in the US, and this really fucking sucks because you have to pay federal tax, but then don't you also have to pay like state tax? Right? So there's two different taxes that you got to pay. Sorry, hold on. There's two different taxes you got to pay. So Uncle Sam gets his cut, but then nephew state there, don't they take their cut as well? Like that would fucking suck balls. Now don't get me wrong. Again, if you're talking about $1 billion winning and you're going to get 450 of it, if you're a 50-year-old guy and you burn through $450 million, you're a retard. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're a 20-year-old guy and you burn through $450 million, you're a retard. That's crazy. A lottery winner is just going to waste their money anyways. Crazy stats on bankruptcy within 2 years of winning the lottery. They are. Victoria was looking at it. We were looking at it the other day and all the stupid shit that we were talking about as well, about stupid shit that people buy. And, they'll win, for example, like around here, the average lottery is anywhere between 16 and $25 million, right? Occasionally it gets up to 30, 40, 50. But the average is say 16 million. Like for last night's draw, which I didn't check my ticket, so I could be sitting here a millionaire right now talking to you. But the last night's draw was, I think, for 32 million bucks. So, and it's funny that, you could win $32 million and within 2 to 5 years, these people are broke. Like broke. You couldn't take 10 million, you got 32 million bucks. You couldn't take $10 million and just invest that in like even if you just took it and stuck it in a high interest savings account, paying you 3% on 10 million. You can live on the interest. You can live on the fucking interest. But people don't. They got, I gotta, okay, yeah, you're gonna win $30 million. Yeah, you're gonna buy your mama a new house. You're gonna buy her a new car or whatever. You're gonna pay off your brother's mortgage. You're gonna hook up your sister and her husband and yada yada yada. You're gonna buy yourself a nice home. A couple of nice cars. In my case, probably more motorcycles than cars. You're a smart person. I'd give a sizable chunk to charity. There's a couple of very worthwhile charities that I believe in, so they'd get a real nice chunk. But still, you give me $30 million, I'm gonna have a lot of it. There's gonna be a lot left when I die, right? Depends on the state. The free state of Florida does not have income tax. Well, yeah, Florida doesn't. Who else doesn't? Does Georgia? I think there's a couple of states where there's no state does not have income tax. Yeah, except Tennessee and a couple other states. Lotto winners will have the lowest IQ. Have you ever noticed that as well? Right? The people that win lotteries, are usually they're playing the lottery because it's their lifeline, right? They're so broke, they scrounge up for us to buy like 2 tickets a week. It costs $10, right? So you pay your $10, but for some people, they're rolling the couch cushions for change to come up with, $10 for the week to buy the lottery tickets. And they're the ones that win it. And within 3 to 5 years, they're broke again. Give me $30 million. I'll make sure that everybody that's associated with me, that's close to me, is taken care of. The couple of charities that I support are going to be well taken care of. And then I'm going to have enough left over to live the rest of my life very, very fucking comfortably. Fucking trucking, good to see you, brother. We have state tax in Michigan too. Florida doesn't. Yeah, there's a couple of states. Like Tennessee said, Tennessee doesn't. it's 26 to 28% tax on interest gains in Canada. So you will be paying plenty of tax on lotto. Basmatic, it's how you invest it. If you just put it in the bank, okay, let's just say you put it in the bank and do the high interest savings account, and you've got the interest, you don't take the interest. If you've got 10 million, if you got 30 million, you can live on what other investments. There's a lot of loopholes. Believe me, I would not be paying 26 to 28% tax on interest gains in Canada on a lottery winning. There's a lot of loopholes. And the other problem is with lottery winners, a good portion of them don't seek proper professional help investing or managing their money, right? They just think, oh, I've got, $30 million, let's go. And they're just either writing checks or spending it, or, they go get themselves their gold platinum American Express card with no preset spending limit, and off you go to the races. Nick, Michigan is an awful place to live. High taxes, horrible roads, and horrible weather. Yeah, you named that. You got that one right. Buy your lotto ticket is an act of desperation, but it's one step up from buying meth. Exactly. We do it for shits and giggles. We don't, we're not, Victoria and I aren't buying two lottery tickets, spending $10 a week and buying 2 lottery tickets because we're depending on it to win the lottery, right? It would just be nice to hit it. And my mom used to make fun of, what are you buying a lottery ticket for? You're never going to win. And you know what my simple response to that is? Somebody's got to win it. And you can't win it if you don't play. Somebody's got to win it, so might as well be me. So I buy 2 tickets a week, $10. I would order a truckload of Keith beer to be delivered by Wheelburner Express. I'd deliver it to you too. 2-4, mark my words. If I win $30 million, okay, before you wake up the next day, there will be a fucking there'll be a trailer. I won't even I'll have them deliver the trailer and just drop the trailer in your front yard with a reefer. And you can just drink it out of the back of the truck for as long as it takes you to drink a 53-foot trailer worth of fucking Keith's beer. The only place you can get tax-free interest is your TFSA, which is limited to $100,000 now, which is nothing. No, you're right. You're right. But there is other ways to do it. You can invest. You can do the stock. You can you can buy stock. There's other ways to invest. There's more ways than I know, right? I'm not claiming to be that I know all these ways to do it, but there are ways to do it. You look around at all these people that are self-made millionaires. Yes, they've worked, they've built a company, and they've earned millions and millions of dollars. Do you really honestly think that they pay tax on all of that? If you make a CEO can make upwards of $100 million a year, depending on the fucking company. Do you think that fucking guy is paying tax on $100 million? Not a chance in hell. How much does a winner have to set aside for the after party of beer, prostitutes, and other party favors? In my case, that would probably be about at least $1 million. That'd be $1 million party. That would be $1 million party. I'd have to be able to honestly sit here and say, I need to set aside at least $1 million to throw a party for this, to do this. Nikki Lee, damn good to see you, sweetheart. Damn good to see you. Loving your shorts these days. That sounds bad, doesn't it? I've never seen Nikki Lee's shorts, okay? I'm talking about her YouTube shorts. I've never seen her shorts, guys. Really, I haven't. Challenge accepted. That's not a challenge. That's a guarantee. You can take me to the bank on that. I actually missed out on a workplace 649 win because we moved to night shift that week. 25 grand in 1996. Turns out I'm glad I didn't win. I never played those. I never played any workplace, lottery thing. If it's $1 million and there's 25 people playing, or if it's $5 million, Well, that's actually ignorant to me to say that. Because, if you get $1 million and there's 25 and there's, 20 people playing, you're still going to come out with what, $500,000 or something like that. I wouldn't say no to $500,000 either. That was pretty ignorant, actually, for me to even say that. But yeah, get out, get out. But for some reason, I never play that. I never played them. Prostitute, though, is crazy. Well, I'm not saying that I would partake, but hell yes. Hope all is well, dude. Your brother next door in Calgary with you ready, again, ready for winter. Fuck, Jason. Now, what are you talking about winter? That's the difference between the people in Alberta that live in the big cities like Calgary with the brain damage and the fucking bumpkins like me that live out in the small towns like Strathmore. These guys are already fucking getting ready and talking about winter. It's like, fuck me. I'm going to be wearing shorts until the end of November. I don't give a flying fuck, Jay, how fucking, if the snow is up to my goddamn, up to here, the roof, the window of this fucking car. I am not doing it. I'm not even talking about winter. Don't, delete your comment. What's the matter with you? You forgot the baby lotion. Oh, it'll be more than baby lotion. Coconut oil. Robin, you don't use baby lotion. You don't use baby lotion or baby oil. It's coconut oil. Yeah, baby. Good quality coconut oil. Oh, make sure you saran wrap your mattress first. And good quality coconut oil, let me tell you, brother. And at the end of it, when you're all done, and both of you are laying there fucking exhausted, you smell like cookies. $1 million party is why they're broke in 2 years. I don't agree. I don't disagree with you. I really don't. Here, look at this. Look at this. Look at this little puppy. Look at that. Jesus. Yeah, man. Beautiful dog. I'm doing a live podcast here, man. Yeah, you're. So I got a guy here. He heard the comment. He just pulled up. He let the dog out for a piss, and he heard the comments about the coconut oil. So he's telling us what is it? The good quality coconut oil. You need what?
If you can see good marbling through the jar,
yeah.
Like you got all these like waves.
That's the good shit.
Combs and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Really good coconut oil.
Well, the problem with it is coconut oil at that point is, it's only going to be there for 7 minutes. It's only going to be used for 7 minutes anyway. Right? So, well, I don't know about you, but for the most part, I put out a good 7 minutes and I need 8 hours of sleep. So, at my age. Right. So, I slap her full of coconut oil and get her all lathered up, do a little of this, 8 hours.
For so many things.
Yeah, well.
You can eat it.
Oh, I know. And you smell like cookies when you're done. Like the good quality coconut oil, you smell like cookies. It's like, fuck, man.
You're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I do YouTube too.
Do you?
Yeah.
You got a channel?
Yeah.
What's your channel?
Texas Mickey Jack.
I can't look it up because I'm actually using my phone for this one right now, but Texas Mickey Jack. Somebody look up Texas Mickey Jack on YouTube.
I'm working in Strathmore doing a job, and I come out here for my friend. She needed some work done in her yard over in Brentwood.
Right on.
Here we are. Sorry to interrupt
No,
you.
no worries, man.
I do lots of videos of me and the dog, construction, talking about health shit. Because I'm all about like we give too much power to these like corporations.
Oh, don't
run our lives.
Don't get me started. My channel's all about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I was in the convoy.
Oh,
so really? I'm one of those that just fucking. I'm a government.
So you know Misty and Freedom George.
Freedom George. Yep. Pat Kit. Yep. I was down there with them. I was the 17th truck into Ottawa.
Nice.
And I documented the whole thing on my channel. Like I took I went YouTube and I was down there. I got out just before they started busting windows.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that we've kind of like lost our power because we don't really actually fully recognize how free men and women should live in Canada?
It's not that we've lost our power. And I don't mean to say this, and it's not a negative. It's our own ignorance in not watching what's going on, and we're giving it away.
Yeah.
We're not. They're not necessarily taking it from us. We're giving it to them.
All they're taking is the title that you're using.
Yes.
Right. I'm all about like status correction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
am.
a lot of people don't realize the power that they actually have as free men and women, and identifying themselves as free men and women.
Well, I'm from Ontario, and I moved here to Alberta back in January. Okay, so I come from a liberal province to a conservative. And part of the second reason I came out here was, because it's a conservative province.
Okay.
Right? Alberta is a conservative province, and the politics is a lot different here. Way things are run here. I'm not saying it's good. It's absolutely it's everything's hunky dory and everything's perfect. But when you look at the way the provincial government runs this province, and then if you go to say like a province like either BC or Ontario, you don't know how lucky you are to be living here and doing what you're doing if you're from here.
I'm from Ontario.
Oh, are you?
I moved here in 2006.
Well, then kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
I seen like once I moved here, I was like, why did I move here like 20 years
Oh, fuck,
before?
man. I am exactly the same way. I should have moved here fucking 30 years ago. Anyway, Eric, your name is Texas Mickey Jack.
Mickey, M-I-C-K-E-Y, Jack.
Yeah, so they've already posted it in the chat. You're already up on the chat. Can I turn the camera around and let them look at you?
Sure.
You guys want to look at them?
I can come closer.
Ah, fuck, stay there. It's all good, man.
What's up, everyone?
There you go, Texas Mickey Jack. How big is your channel? How many subs you got?
Almost 6,000.
Almost 6,000? Right on.
Yeah, I've been doing it since, I think, 2022. Been talking about it since 2015.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I'm just going to do it, and I just started putting stuff out there.
Yeah, I put this channel together. I was on another channel. I started another channel with ET Transport. And we blew that channel up. It's up at about 225 or 230,000 subs now. We blew that channel up, and then I went out on my own in 22.
Okay.
Just 21. I think at the end of 21, I started the channel, or maybe it was 20. Anyway, just before the convoy. Yeah. And then we took the channel into the convoy, and it just blew up.
Yeah.
Right? So it really did well for us. And then we've just been kind of humming along. I haven't been doing a whole lot with it over the last month or so. I've been dealing with some medical and some shit like that. So the algorithm's a little flat, but we're just kind of out here this morning. I was out here the other morning. I come out first thing in the morning. We watch the sunrise.
That's what I wanted to be here for.
That's what I do. When I'm out here, I come out here because the sun's right there, right? So I come out here, watch the sunrise, and throw the chat and just let it go. And
you ever think about that theory that we're spinning through space like at 1,000 miles an hour randomly?
Have I ever thought of that theory?
Yeah.
Not that I really wanted to.
So think about this. The sun rises always in the east.
Yeah. And sets in the west.
In the west.
Right.
So how does that theory ever like even have any kind of like weight that we're spinning through space like that, right?
It's one of those things that's above my pay grade at brain level. I don't think about it.
Get it? But if they're lying to us about that, and this kind of goes into the politics of things, right? Because realistically, what I want to end up doing, maybe not with the Texas Mickey Jack channel, but on and that's Dr. Chunks, by the way.
Dr. Chunks.
So if you look up any Dr. Chunks stuff, you'll find our videos.
There you go.
Hey,
puppy dog.
One of the things I want to talk about.
Fucking head on it like that.
Is I would love to get everybody together to kind of vote non-confidence in our government.
Federal or provincial?
Non-confidence in the government.
Yeah. Period.
Because red versus blue.
Yeah.
It's just two wings of the same bird, right? It's still controlled, and the whole point of government is to actually like govern the people. But we've given so much power to government through our inability to realize that when we vote, we're actually giving up our right as men and women.
Right.
And the power that we actually have, and say, hey, can you please do the job that we should be doing?
Correct.
Yes.
But Well, no, I believe in that, but I'm also not a believer in the fact when they say, I'm a believer in in some of what you just said, but I'm also a believer in the fact that voting is a right that you got. You've got the right to vote as a Canadian citizen or even a U.S. citizen. You've got that. You've been given that God-given right to do it. And, there are certain reasons for which you're not allowed to vote, obviously, whatever, you're felons or whatever like that. But if you've got the vote, vote. Use your vote and use your voice. If you do not vote, I believe you don't have the right to bitch. You have no right to bitch and complain if you did not vote. Only for the reason is your vote. And when it comes to politics, I don't like any of the politicians, right? Yes, I'm a conservative, and yes, I supported Polyev, but doesn't mean I liked him. Okay, so,
like him either.
Well, I don't vote for the politician I like the most. I vote for the politician I dislike the least. Now think about that. And now if every Canadian thought that way, you'd have a whole different power system put in place for politics. And let's face it, like the Liberal government won that last election. You know who won it for them? The fucking boomers. Why? Because the boomers are all there's still enough of them, and they're all liberal, and they are diehard liberal, and they will not change their ways. It doesn't matter what Polyev or any conservative or even Singh for that matter, what they said, okay? The liberals are going to won it, and they won it. Well, thank God they didn't win it by a landslide, but.
Well, honestly, to be straight up, in my opinion of that whole election, and I told this to my friends, like, I'm like, watch, Carney's gonna get in because they can manipulate the system.
Well, the one in power has all the power. That's the thing,
Yeah.
right? If you've already got the power, then you've got the ability to do what you need to do. One of the biggest things that they did is go back and look at the influx of immigration the year before the election was set to take. Liberals were literally bringing immigrants in, handing them the money, Now, there's nothing against immigrants. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with our immigration system, if worked properly, is a good thing. But what they were doing was they were bringing in everybody. They were getting off the boat or getting off the plane. They were handed a check. They were handed free housing. They were handed free medical. They were handed free everything. And for that, they all voted Liberal, going, oh, look what this wonderful government did for us. They bought that last win with immigration, just the immigration alone. When you bring an influx of over 160,000 immigrants into a country the size of ours with only 47 million people in it, that's a lot of people to sway a vote one way or the other.
Oh, totally. And I called that too.
Oh, I saw that happening the year before the election. They started doing it. And I'm going, they're buying the vote. And there was nothing Polyev could do to stop it.
No.
Right? Now, he was saying, when I get elected, this is going to happen and we're going to stop all that. Yeah. But it never happened, so you just don't know.
But at the same time, I believe, like, all these political people are placed.
Of course they are.
They're placed there. So, like, if you're voting, you're really just, like, whether you got a shitty candidate or not a shitty candidate, I haven't seen a good politician in my entire life.
No, neither have I.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never voted in my life.
No, I do.
I've never voted in my life because you actually give up your right to be free in this country.
Well, it's a way of tagging. It is a way of tagging yourself. Yeah. Once you're voted, then they have your number and you're tagged, right? You're considered a citizen and you're considered, I don't like the fact that if I vote conservative, I'm tagged a conservative. I'm a Canadian.
So the only reason why I haven't voted, it was never a reason to vote. I never liked any of the candidates ever in my entire life.
Yeah, but you can't vote no confidence.
I think all could. And if we had enough people to vote no confidence, then the government goes back to the original standing, and then we have more control over the government at that point.
Yeah.
Because then now we can kick out the left and the right, and then in place something that's actually of some kind of fucking value.
But what do you place?
We need to be honest.
Because here's the problem.
Jokingly, I was like, man, if I could get the dog elected, he'd do better than anybody else.
I don't disagree with you.
Dr. Chunks.
I agree with you. The problem, and here's the only problem I see with that, and I've thought the same way as you, right? Power corrupts.
Yeah.
So let's just say we all vote no confidence, and let's just say I step in and, okay, everybody's voted no confidence. I'm going to step in and lead the country and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Do you really think, how many years do you think me or anybody else, I'm just using me as an example, but let's just say your best friend John or whatever, how many years do you think that guy's going to go before he's not corrupted? Or before it's almost impossible not to happen, because in order to make certain things happen, you have to buy off other things. Any policy that gets put into place is paid for with either votes, money, or favors. And in order to be in a top position in politics, there are more deals done in the back rooms of politics these days than there is out on the fucking out on the House of Commons.
I can tell you I wouldn't be corrupted.
Well, okay, I'm
one of those
I would
guys
say the
that
same
know
thing.
Do things like I do construction, right?
Mhm.
I see a lot of shoddy work, and people will be like, "Oh, well, how much do you charge?" I'm like, "It's not about how much you charge; it's about how much you know, right?
Yeah.
The tools don't just like build shit themselves,
Yeah.
right? Like I fix all kinds of people's work, and they'll be like, "Oh, just do it fast, just do it this." I'm like, "Then I'm not your guy." You want to hire somebody who's going to do the job properly, right?
Yeah.
So just because there's money on the table doesn't mean that I'm going to, my opinion's going to be swayed. I would be doing the best I could for the people, because you need to come from some good moral standing. Like, I don't have tons of friends.
But here, hold on.
That's because I come from good moral standing.
That's the most important thing that you just said, though. You have moral standing.
Yeah.
At some point down the road, not saying you, but some point down the road, let's just say anybody that no confidence that we put in place to run the country, at some point down the road, their moral standing is going to falter. It's politics.
Character, though. Like,
it does. Well,
realistically, like if you look at the cabinet that Trudeau or Carney has put in place, they're all garbage.
Well, they're all the same. Nothing.
The same shit agenda.
All they did is switch job positions.
Yeah.
Right?
That's all they did.
That's all they did. And they weren't qualified for the positions they had. You telling me Krista Freeland is qualified to do anything but walk your dog?
She's not even qualified to do that.
Well, exactly.
I wouldn't let her touch my dog.
Exactly. But she resigned as deputy prime minister and finance officer, and now she's in what, transportation or fucking something like that? You telling me that woman knows anything? She probably hasn't driven her own fucking car in the last 10 years.
I wouldn't even trust her as far as I could bury her. You know
exactly.
I mean? Like, it's we all know they're trash.
Yeah, so like I said,
voting for any of them is not going to do the country any better, because they're still pushing stupid climate change crap. They're still pushing like LGBTQ agendas and all this other crap that doesn't help the country. Like sure, yeah, bring in immigrants, but let's help Canadians first. Let's help the people here first.
Dude, we've done hours
of that.
Those conversations, man. Believe me.
We can't do it with these people in office. Is my point.
No, you can't.
So we need to get the right people, and I could solve the job issue right now. Let's get rid of AI. We don't need it, right? Everybody only works 4 hours a day, and everyone has a job that pays enough so that they can live. That we can just keep cycling people, right?
Yeah.
Because most of the time, people just don't want to work 8 hours, give their life away, and do nothing, and get no living, right?
That's another issue we've talked. Well, man, trust me, we covered it all.
For prime minister, right?
Absolutely.
But that's kind of my thing, right? Like, work with what you got.
Oh.
You know, you can't always like change it by getting someone else to do the job for you. Sometimes you just got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Like I did the wheel bearing on my truck last night. I'm making a video. I'm editing it all.
Yeah.
I had nobody step on the brakes. So what do? How do I do it?
Improvise.
Wedge the wheel. You know, you improvise. You just gotta have
well,
a brain,
it's the same thing with that. Small business, like I'm retired, but you know, I was an owner operator and a small business owner for 35 years or for 25 years as a truck driver.
Yeah.
Right. And over that lifespan as a business owner, 4 to 5 times, you know, recession of 2008 almost buried us in transportation. 15 almost buried us in transportation with the recessions. And you got to learn to adapt, overcome, and improvise. And it's the same with politics. It's the same with just life in general. Doesn't matter what you're doing, changing a wheel bearing. Yeah. You got to figure out how to step on the brake. You adapt, you overcome, and you improvise. Or you adapt, you improvise, and then you overcome. And
the key word to that is you.
You, exactly. Not everybody else. You don't rely on anybody else.
We. together can make a change.
But unfortunately, for the greater part, there's still too much fear, right? There's too much of a wedge that people have, or the government, not just the government, but big business as well. They have put that wedge between the left, the right, the middle, the fucking whatever, and people are just, they just don't have it. They're afraid. Our general population is afraid to do. People are afraid to step out of the norm. They're afraid to step off the wheel.
Yeah.
You know, you've heard the saying, "Stop the earth, I want to get off." People are afraid to get off.
No, I get that.
Right, and that's not because you and I woke up one morning and I was scared. And we were scared. We woke up for the last, I'm 55 years old. For the last 30 years, this has been going on where, you've got racial indiscretions, you've got fucking political indiscretions, you've got and none of that just appeared by itself. All of that was put in place, right? And if they've got you on one side and you're nailing at me on this side over here, that's not because you don't like me personally, or it's because, there's something that's been put in place, and it's usually a fear or a policy or something like that, or so many years of it. It's almost like borderline brainwashing. And when people finally realize that this is happening to their lives, they would try to step off, but they can't. It's like, oh my God, if I step off, the world's going to pass me by. And you know what? I'd be more than fucking happy to let the world. Right now, I'm letting the world pass me by.
But isn't that a form of giving up?
No.
If you let the world pass you by.
Fight a good fight.
Yeah, no.
Right? Fight a good fight. Just when I say stop the world, I want to get off. It's stop the world. I want to get off. I want to get off the written agenda, which I didn't write.
Yeah.
I want to make my own agenda. I want to live my own life the way I want to live it on my terms, with my own policies. If as long as I'm not breaking any laws,
Yeah.
That's what I mean by that. Like when I say stop the world, I want to get off. It's just I want to do my thing. I don't want to be in that group of what Canada is right now, of between politics and there's not a lot of racial indiscretion. Canada doesn't suffer from it as bad as say the U.S. does, but we do have it. And all of the new stuff that's come down the pipe in say the last 10 years. Having to do with gender and this and that and all of that. And you know what? Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Do your thing. I'll respect what you want to do. That's your thing. You have that right and you have that choice. If that's the way you want to do it, go ahead. I'll respect it. But leave me alone.
No, I totally agree with you, and I'm the kind of guy that I won't let my ground be taken from me without a fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? And like simple thing. I go to court because I'm getting harassed by the fish cops because my dog was off leash.
Yeah.
And if we actually start to educate our minds in the law that they have in place, which is the foundation of the corruption of everything that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because back during COVID, what was the catchphrase word? Mandate, right?
Yeah.
How many people do you think know what mandate actually means?
It's not a law.
It's not a law.
It's not a law. It's a suggestion.
No, it's a contract. It's a assumed contract that the mandator giving it to the mandatee. The moment the mandatee completes the contract, it becomes a consensual contract between the two parties.
Right.
So if you look up mandate in Black's Law Dictionary, mandate itself, you will find out that it means an implied contract that is verbal.
Right.
Right? So when I started fishing because of all this bullshit during COVID, I'm like, man, I do drywall. I can't wear a paper mask to do drywall. And they're talking about the smallest fucking particle that's flying around in the air that could kill everybody. This is like
it wasn't even killing everybody.
It was all lies.
Yeah, I know.
It was all lies.
That's believe me, we've covered hours and days of it. It's fucking the COVID, and like I said, I can guarantee you, I've had COVID at least 3 times. Once I knew of, and probably twice I didn't even know I fucking had it.
Yeah.
I didn't die from it.
No.
My life didn't change from it. I was one of those assholes that I went into. I used to go into Canadian Tire and Walmart without a mask. I refused.
That's not an asshole. That's just you exercising.
No, I get it, but in
right.
society's eyes at that time, I was an asshole for doing that. And I'd make it about 30 feet in the door at Canadian Tire, and I knew exactly what I wanted and where I had to go in that store. And I'd walk, and by the time I got there, I'd have a trail of about 4 people going, sir, you need to leave. You can't do this. And I would just keep on. I'd go pick up what I needed. And by the time I got to cash register, usually there was a manager there going, you got to leave. You need to put on a mask. You need to do this. And I would just simply say to them, you can either take my money and I can buy this, or I'll just drop it right here and I'll leave. What do you want me to do? You know what? Every single time, oh, just purchase it and leave. Of course you want my fucking money, mask or no mask, right? I did the same thing with Canadian Tire, Walmart, Shoppers Drug Mart, right? And documented it.
Yeah.
Fucking document. Now, don't get me wrong. My kids were like, oh my God, Dad, again, right? Yeah. And everything like that. But I refused to mask up.
Same here. I got kicked out of every CIBC in Canada because I wasn't wearing
a mask. Well, not wearing a mask.
You know, the funny thing is that I waited in CIBC for 45 minutes to get to the cashier.
Yeah.
Nobody said shit.
Yeah.
Get to the counter.
You got to put a mask on.
They're giving me my money. And as they're about to give me my money, the manager comes out dangling this mask. She's like, you need a mask, sir.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is that shit?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, you got to put this mask
on.
Yeah,
same thing here.
You don't own me.
Yeah.
And no, I don't have to put the mask on.
Well, I didn't like it as well because back in those days, I had like your beard. I had like 10 times that, right? I had the big fucking like this, and it fucks your beard up.
Yeah.
Right? You take the fucking mask off, and next thing you know, you get this stupid fucking, it's like, ah.
But then what's the point of putting the mask on anyways?
No.
It's going to come through the hair of your beard.
Yeah, and they're giving you
a seal.
They're giving you a mask that doesn't do anything. Like it's just, you know, we could sit here like this right now for the next 12 hours.
Oh, of course.
And talk about this, and it would just be ridiculous, so.
But they ended up canceling my account from that. They took my money back. They didn't give me my money.
Yeah.
And then they mailed me all the money in my account and closed my accounts down.
Oh, did they?
I can't go to any more CIBCs in Canada.
Did you document it on your channel?
I'm actually trying to put a case together against the bank for discrimination.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Also, before you had to prove that you needed a mask,
yeah,
like an exemption.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, even if I did need an exemption, I'm the one telling you I have an exemption, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
I don't need a doctor. But the interesting thing about COVID was to see how many people were going to comply under the rule of AHS. And AHS can only govern businesses and corporations.
Or corporations, right.
And here's kind of what I'm getting at when I originally started talking to you about all this status correction shit. That's where we need to go to, is we need to correct our status out from the corporate name.
You smoke?
No, I don't. And the corporate name being like, for instance, you get your birth certificate, you create your identity from your birth certificate. Not too long ago, you were talking about Canadian citizenship. Well, what does that mean? It means you're a Canadian citizen on their ship. So you go by the rules of their ship.
Correct.
If you look at your birth certificate, you will see that your name is in all caps. And when you see that your name is in all caps, that means you're a dead entity. And you're operating as a dead entity. And the easiest way I can explain this to you is that when you were born, because you're never birthed, ships are only birthed.
Right.
Right? When you were born, there was 2 of you that were born. One died at birth, and one is living. What they did was they got the living one to identify as the dead one under the birth certificate and created all identification from that government document. And so the way acts and statutes work is that government can only rule over corporation. So you're acting as a corporate titled identity under the Canadian citizenship.
Okay, so how do you change that?
Well, you got to go back and you got to like change. You got to become an executor of your own estate. You basically all the land and titles and things that you own. Like for instance, I'm in court right now because of no DL, right? And I'm fighting because the cops pulled me over. I'm like, what'd you pull me over for? They're like, oh, there was no registration on your vehicle. And I got forced into this situation, but it also forced me to learn, right? And not give up. I'm like, I'm sick of paying all this fucking goddamn money to you bastards, and I get nothing from it, right? If you look up the word highway in Black's Law Dictionary, you will see that you have the free right to travel. So when the cops pull you over and they're asking you for your driver's license, that's your corporate identity that you're using under their system. right? So you got to pull your name out of that system, and obviously you got to educate yourself. But the number one maxim in law is he who let those who are ignorant, let those who are deceived be deceived. It's not the government's job to teach you how to run your life, right? So that's where
it's interesting.
The status correction happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get off the ship because you weren't birthed, you were born.
Well,
The dog was born.
Yeah.
You were born. But what was birthed was a piece of paper that you created all your identity from, and then started acting as a dead entity, as a living man.
It's something definitely to think about, because it's funny that you said, I had my birth certificate in my fucking hand the other day. I was just I had to do something, and I had it, and I looked at it and didn't give it a second thought. I didn't even realize that if my name was all in capitals or not, because so many years of looking at it, you don't even give it a second thought.
In the truck.
Yeah. Knock yourself out. Yours is the cookie Roblox. Sorry, guys. The real me sounds a bit crazy. No, I mean, it may sound crazy, but if you think about it, there's got to be a certain level of fucking truth to it.
It's gonna sound crazy to everybody because they don't get it. I didn't get it. I'm not gonna show it on camera, but I'll show it to you. See, all caps. Everything's in all caps. All of it, and the word. Think about the word corporation, corpse.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrency. Dead from the crypt, right? All this cryptocurrency bullshit,
yeah,
they're using to kill the fiat currency, which was worth nothing anyways in the first place. We are all creditors. We are all technically like the Visa company, because when you're alive, you can create documents.
That's interesting.
There's a reason why when you go to court, you got to fill out forms, because the form is a form of a physical thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, the form
right
is supposed to be the identification for the living person that it's identifying.
Yeah, but you are in form.
Right.
This is in form.
That's
right.
That's a document.
And we get into formation following all this bullshit paperwork. Right? And I have all this documentation because I carry it, because I do not consent. So when I talk to you about fighting, I'm fighting like, everyone's like, you're fucking crazy. Why are you doing all this? You know how much time are you spending in court? I'm like, I don't care. I'm not paying them another cent.
Yeah.
Not even a fucking half a cent. I'm not going to give them shit. And they're like, oh, you got to get a lawyer. You got to go do this. They're always going to tell you to get a lawyer because those lawyers represent the bar. And the bar association works for the crown.
I know.
And what do?
That's the problem.
They railroad you, right? Same thing that happened to Pat King. He got railroaded.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could have had some way of talking to him at the time, but I didn't get to go down to I wanted to go on the convoy, but I was working at Rocco's restaurant. Anyways, because I'm a man of my word, I'm going to finish your place. I wanted to go because it would have been an amazing thing to be part of. But at the same time, during that time, I gained so much more knowledge about all this stuff and how to start changing and pulling yourself out of the system. And creating the identification that you have. Like when you pull out a piece of ID, like a cop is like, where's your ID and license and registration? You hand him the driver's license, right?
Yeah.
And then what do you say? Here's my ID, right?
No, I don't say fucking nothing. I don't talk to them.
If you're handing it to them,
I hand it to them. I don't talk to them.
You're saying it under
assumption.
But you're also consenting, right?
Yeah. So well, that's after I ask them why I'm being pulled over, or why are you asking me? I won't give anybody my identification. If I'm walking up the street and a cop asks me, pulls in and says, I need to ask you, like, wait, what are you doing? Or what is, can I see some ID? The answer is no. You're going to answer, first of all, have I committed a crime? What have I done? Why are you asking me for my identification? I will not give any ID to anybody in law enforcement or anybody thereafter for no reason.
And so in that moment, after you've said all that, and they're still persisting,
no, arrest me.
No, you got to be like, I have the right to remain silent, or I don't have it all on the top of my head.
Even in Canada, it's the same thing. We have that.
Right, no, we have that right, but it's not like you need to say it.
No.
Right? Because like a lot of people will say my Charter of Rights. Well, that's false.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
Why is it bullshit though?
It was put in place by government or by standing.
Exactly.
Right.
And then who does it rule?
Well, it rules the general population.
No.
Yeah, it does.
It only rules corporation.
Oh.
Because now we got to go back, because there's only 3 laws that we need to abide by: do no harm, steal from nobody, and what's the other one? Hurt no one.
Right.
Oh, sorry, I said that. That's 2. I can't remember the other third one.
Yeah.
It's neither here nor there. When they create acts and statutes, that's not actually law. That's statutory law. And statutory law is created by government to rule over government, right? So the Charter of Rights actually only applies to government bodies. And if you identify as this, you're a government body. If you run around with the paperwork, yes, I'm here, you're a government. You become a government body under their rule. Now, the moment you get a lawyer, what does a lawyer do? He represents you, right?
Yeah.
So he's talking on your behalf, but not getting the punishment that you're going to receive, right? That they're gonna
dole out, right?
Make for you.
Yeah.
So that's why you never use a lawyer. You present yourself in court under the matter of which the all caps name is the.
But how do you get around the fact though that the laws and statutes, because there's not just 5, there's thousands, and there's no way somebody like you, me, or anybody else knows all of them. And because with every statute and law that is in place to govern the society as we think, right, for every second one of those, there's a fucking loophole. And there's no way that somebody like you or me knows all those loopholes.
You're not supposed to enter into it
and that's where the crown is going to get you.
Wow.
You're not going to know. And so representing yourself, exactly, they're driving me nuts too. And representing yourself is not necessarily always if you're talking about a traffic violation, fine. If I'm suspected of committing a murder and I didn't do it, you know, unless it's documented with I can prove it with DNA or camera video, whatever like that. Yeah, I would do it myself. But if there's just too many fucking loopholes that I could never know about that the governing body or the crown knows about, they're gonna fucking get you. So do you think I'm gonna sit my ass in jail for fucking 15 years on something I didn't do because I misrepresented myself or out of ignorance I didn't know? No. So you have to make that call. You have to weigh it, you know. Yes, I don't believe in it, but yes, I'm going to need it because there's going to be something I'm going to miss and they're going to fucking get me on it.
Well, that's why a lot of the stuff before going to court starts with paperwork, right? The form.
Yeah.
You send the form in. You start to basically exit yourself from the laws that they're trying to bring against you. Right, I'm learning this as I'm going, right? Like, cause I'm dealing with all kinds of shit. They tried to get me with obstruction of justice. I'm like, well, where's the injured party? What's the tort? Who is harmed? Where was is the officer creating a credit against my good name?
Yeah.
And is he like trying to drag my good name through the mud by bringing me to court? So when you end up in court, you got to exempt yourself from general population. And the one way to do that is that before you pass the bar, which is that wall,
yeah,
you stand in court and you say, I am here as the what do you call it again? I am here I am here for the matter of the all caps name, man, I wasn't expecting to be talking about this today. I'm here in the all caps name for the legal fiction. Legal, because this is a legal fiction,
yeah.
Right? And I'm here to deal with the matter. I'd like to either get it tossed out of court, but me right now, I'm trying to take the cops to
hold them accountable.
And sue them for taking my vehicle and all kinds of other shit.
Yeah.
Right? Because I have the right to travel on the roads. That's what taxpayers pay. The right to travel. All of us pay for the roads.
Right.
So what gives them the right to govern it? Right? They govern it under acts and statutes under the safety law.
Well, they call it the Traffic Act.
The Traffic Act.
Right. But it's an act.
But it's an act.
Right.
All of it's an act. Right? And all of it's a statute because it doesn't exist. It doesn't live. It has no substance. And you got to start realizing where your power lies is that we all created the government. Man created law, so there's no law above man. That's why they get you with the statutes, because they get you to act under the statutes of their laws.
Put in place, right?
And if you don't know that, you're just agreeing to all of it, right? Like, you think that this vehicle's yours, right?
Yeah.
But it's not, because you registered it to the government. It has a registered plate on the back, which gives them the right to pull you over because it's their property. You have the right to basically pay for it and use it wherever you want to go, but under their laws.
Yeah, but try driving it without a plate on it. Go buy that truck, right? You've got a nice F350 over there.
Yeah.
Buy the truck, pay for it in cash,
Yeah.
put it in your driveway, get up tomorrow morning and drive right through town here and see how long, without a plate on the back of it,
Yeah.
see how long it takes before you get pulled over.
I totally,
right?
I totally get it. The truck's actually not registered in my name.
Okay, but
Because I'm dealing with all this court.
I used to follow that. There was a whole slew of people on the East Coast in Canada and Ontario as well that were actually doing that, trying to get themselves pulled over to try to change certain things about the fact that our highways are free to travel, our highways are, and we have the right to do it. Why are we why are we having to pay for a license? Why are we having to pay for identification when I have the right to do that? And, you know, as hard as they tried and as good as they did, they failed.
Yeah, because at some point or another, they consented, or they entered into general population in the court, or they acted as a citizen on their ship. Well, you're a citizen on their ship. You gotta go by our rules, or off the ship you go, walk the plank, right?
Yeah.
Into jail you go, because we're acting as their property.
Yeah.
Right? Like when a cop pulled me over, he's like, can I see your license and registration? I'm like, what was the emergency that you had to pull me over? Oh, there's no emergency. He's like, okay, so what crime was I committing to?
I know, I've done that.
Pulled over. He's like, you're driving with unregistered plates. I'm like, that's not a crime. He's like, well, it's an act. I'm like, exactly, it's an act. So what was the crime you pulled me over for? So I'm trying to get him on unlawful stop.
Right.
Right, and he's recording.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm trying to get that information on camera.
Right.
Not to mention he's threatening to put my dog in the pound and all this other bullshit. I rolled up my windows. I called my friend to come get my dog, and then I'll deal with these guys later.
Right.
So they're all outside the car, and my friend shows up. Dog is safe. I'm like, now I will exit the vehicle under my own fruition. And they're trying to get me for obstruction because I didn't give them ID. Well, I had an expired driver's license.
Right.
And you and I both know, let's say I want to go to the bank and open a bank account. Can I use expired driver's license?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, I've tried.
Did you?
Yeah, because my wallet got stolen and I had no license. So I tried to use the old license that I had that was expired. They said, no, we can't do that. Because when you create a bank account now, you're creating it under that dead entity and under the same statutes that they're just like carrying on with, right? Because like if you think about how currency is the way the river flows and the banks are the river banks,
right?
Everything just falls into place through words. So we got to really pay attention to what's actually being said. And I said the best way to know that, and this is where the COVID thing came in, was I started looking up mandate, and I started looking up other shit. And I was like, wait a minute, they're speaking a whole different language in court that we don't understand. And besides,
but they created.
That they created.
Yeah.
And you should never understand anything they're saying. Like, do you understand why I pulled you over? Nope. Do you understand any of the things I said to you? Nope.
Nope.
Right?
Yeah.
I always say no. And in the report, they're crying in the report saying, oh, the obstruction of justice is because you didn't give me the license and this and that. And when they arrested me, they pulled out my wallet and I said, I do not consent to any searches or seizures. So they violated my right again.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we found a DL. Why didn't you use this? I'm like, it's expired. Can I really use it if it's expired? I can't open an account and I can't use it anywhere else because it's expired.
Right.
And that's where my mentality started thinking. I'm like, I didn't lose the ability to drive.
No.
But then you look up the word drive, and you're basically committing a commercial act.
Right.
So when a cop says you're driving, which is what I said in the moment he pulled me over, I'm like, no, I'm traveling.
Yeah.
He's like, you're driving, you're behind the wheel operating. Operating is another commercial term. They're always trying to get you back in the commercial because that's where their jurisdiction lies.
Right. But as a traveler, you have free right to go anywhere you want.
Especially
I
in
know
Canada.
that. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have a copy of the inside of my passport. Have you ever read that?
Of course I have. Yeah.
It says you have the ability to go
To
anywhere
anywhere.
in Canada.
Yeah.
So why are you restricting my travel by making me get a license? And this is where the mentality started switching in my mind. I'm like, so I never lost the ability to drive just because it expired, and so you're giving up your right to travel.
But what
by
they're telling
becoming
you
a
is
commercial entity.
you didn't lose the ability to travel, but in their eyes, you've lost the right because your license is
And the only
expired.
rights you have are your God-given rights.
Right.
And the rights that they say they're giving to you, they're trying to act as your God.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't work either for me.
It doesn't work either for you, but like you got to realize that they're playing games through words.
Yeah, I know.
That's all it is.
Yeah. But again, it's one of those, I don't know how old you are. But I'm 55, and if I started a good fight now, that fight wouldn't end until I dropped dead. And there's no guarantee that I would win it. But it would be a lifelong fight.
Me, I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do what you say. That's all it is. It's like, I'm gonna act as a free man. I'm gonna live as a free man. And I'm not saying I'm a free man on the land or that I'm a sovereign citizen, because you can't be sovereign and a citizen at the same time. I'm just a living man. But you know what I could do? If I get your number, I could send you a couple things that, like, you know, that I've just Googled, and it explains that it explains how the government rules over the Charter of Rights under corporation. It explains how the government is using acts and statutes that only apply to those who want to act under their statutes. Right? And then it can maybe start kind of giving you some kind of direction as to how we could change this shit mess by educating other people. That's all it is. Like, I'm not making no money sitting here talking to you about it, but I feel like there's somebody that wants to know how to make change, right? And the only way to make change is to change the way people's mindsets are. And mindset is the key thing to everything.
But changing a mindset. Now, this, at the end of this, you're going to go, but that's giving up. And in a sense, it is. Changing a mindset. Do you know how many fucking mindsets you have to change?
I don't care about that.
No, well, you should. You have to, because let's just say you and me get together and we get on the same page, same mindset. And we get Bob over there. And then when you look at the big picture, the whole thing of the entire country, or even let's just do it on a provincial, say just use the province of Alberta. There's 4.5 million people in Alberta. There's not enough of yous and me's and Bob's and Rob's and Fred's that could actually... So you're going to put up a huge stink and a huge fight, and you're going to fight the best fight you can for what? At the end of the day, for what? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying... But at the end of the day, it's not enough, because there's not enough people out there like you or like me or like Bob that are going to get together to be able to enforce or push through to make that change.
Can I, I'm just going to make this statement, because pretty much everything you've just said, like you said, is you're speaking in defeat.
Well, it's one of those things
Let me make it simple for you. When you live in a 2-story house or a bungalow?
2-story.
So when you get to your staircase, do you stand there and go, oh, all these things I got to deal with to get up the stairs? You just go one step at a time.
Yeah.
To get up to the stairs.
I can't disagree with that. It's a really good analogy to think about.
So that's all it's about, right? Like, have I maybe installed some different way of thinking since we've met?
Yeah, I got you.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Maybe we've installed some different thinking to some of these people too.
I don't know. I've been ignoring the chat. They're chatting away, but I don't know what they're chatting away about.
It's not about all the people. It's about right now, right here. Where do we go from here? We just keep going. Just keep going. A snowball effect. You roll it down the hill. It might get big. It might not. It might fall over.
It might crack and break.
It might crack and break, but then what do? You get up and you build it again. You keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep
Yeah.
going.
But at
Right?
what point do you keep fighting and pushing it? With that kind of energy,
Until you're satisfied with the result.
or you stop, but you end up stopping living your life.
Yeah, it depends. Like,
Dude, I worked a lot of years to get where I am.
Same here, man.
To be retired, to be able to do this.
I totally get that, but like, I'm not at that age to retire.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn 50 soon, right? Maybe in a couple of years. I don't know. I don't even pay attention to like how old I am.
Right.
I just keep going because like right now I got to go shovel fucking three things of rock, 3 yards of rock, and I originally had people to help me, but those people, they cause more damage in the time that they're there than they do if they're not there. So it's just better for me to do it myself.
Yeah.
But at some point as a man, I have to be like, okay, do I spend the money to have these guys help me, or do I get them to come, destroy a bunch of shit that I got to fix? What's the best result? I'm just going to shovel the rock myself. Job's done. She's happy. Everyone's happy. I'm on my way.
Right.
Right? I got a shit ton of work to do. And like even me doing the wheel bearing on my truck, I had to do it. I had to not come out here yesterday to finish the wheel bearing, but at the same time, if maybe we wouldn't have met today.
Well, everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, if we think that the challenges that we're given are hard, then they always will be, because that's the power of being a living man, is that we have the ability to create through thought, through speech, through action. Right? Everything you do is an action. Everything you think can become an action, and is an action in the universe, however you want to look at it, right? Because we all have the ability to make change. It's just, what are we focusing on? And the reason why I think politics is in place is to distract your focus. Is to get you to talk about all this bullshit that's going on, how we have no power.
It's to get you to watch the right hand while the left hand is doing something else. I agree with that.
Fuck all the hands, and just do the best you can with the time that you have. Inspire people, be authentic, because I feel that once you act like this, you're not authentic anymore. Right? And I'm authentically going to court, I'm going to court on October the 8th. The Crown still doesn't want to give me a USB drive. They gave me CDs. I'm like, I can't use those.
Yeah.
But I can't use those. I want a USB drive. They're like, we've already given you due process. I'm like, no, you haven't, because due process means that I get the evidence that you have against me. It's your responsibility to give it to me. So I want it. They're like, oh, you could come to the court. You could go to the library. You could do all these things. Because they're trying to get you out of your element. I am man. I created law. And law has no power over me. I tell them what to do. Right? And you have to act like that. In a respectful, honorable manner.
That's the hard part.
Because you don't want to go to court arguing. You want to go to court and let them get mad at you. And then you state for the record, why are you raising your voice against me? I thought this was a civil matter or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you try to put the ball back against them, because they're always trying to get you to fall out of form.
Well, the whole idea behind the Crown is to always keep you on the defensive.
Exactly.
You're always on the defensive, and that's right. And when you're always on the defensive, that means at some point or another you're going to be caught off guard, and they're going to get you.
Exactly.
And that's what they do. I'm in complete agreement with that. Believe me, I've spent. I'm not going to tell you how much money over the years in courthouses doing various things, but it's absolutely astronomically fucking ridiculous. And the fact, to be walking around a quote unquote a free man right now. Yeah. So.
But we got to also remember that this is technically, what would you think this is? They call it a birth certificate. What would you think?
It's a document.
It's a bill of shipping. It's a manifest. Right?
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
So now, if you think about this, the word manifest, what does that mean? It has kind of two meanings.
Yeah,
essence, right?
it's basically a list of what's on board.
Exactly, in the mind.
Right.
Right? A clear and detailed statement of a vessel's cargo.
Right.
That's the actual definition. I have a shirt that I created that I'm going to put on my channel at some point. That basically, on the back, it talks about manifestation, how we manifest through our thought and our speak and our actions. But the same word manifest also means a ship's manifest, a detailed statement of a vessel's cargo.
Right.
Right? So what's your vessel? You're the vessel acting as a dead vessel that they control, only because you're identifying as this. Once you separate yourself from this, even going into court and going, I'm not the legal fiction, I have the evidence right here. Take it to jail. Here you go.
Yeah.
To jail it goes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You've severed.
Don't let that blow away, dude.
Whatever. Right? You can get another one, right? Like.
Fuck. No, it's a lot to think about.
I know. And I didn't mean to interrupt your live. This is all about coconut oil. But
Yeah, well, we started with coconut oil, and we're now at deep dive into politics and life and living life in Canada.
Yeah,
So,
living as free men and women on the land. And this is what I think about the whole LGBTQ shit. Is you gotta use the right pronoun and all this. It's actually to defile the name, the word men and women, right? So that you can't use it, but you can use it in law, because that's the most substance that law ever has.
But how is it that the law has identified and they use the pronouns and they use it as well?
They can use whatever they want because they're part of that system.
Yeah.
You're trying to exempt yourself from the system by saying that you assume that I'm this, but I'm telling you I'm not. I'm here in the flesh as a living being. I am not it. I have the identification and proof that this is not me. Because what you look for on any docket, if you go to court, it's all in caps.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to go after.
I'm gonna go home and check my birth certificate.
Yeah.
I've got the old school one,
the
one
will probably say can't be used as a legal identification.
I don't even know. Like I said, it's been so many years since I've looked. I pulled it out the other day. I had it out the other day, did what I had to do with it, and then put it away. And I haven't looked at it. I keep it in the safe, right? So,
yeah.
But I'll go take a look at that.
So it's all about changing the mindset.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. 1 second, guys.
Sorry, I gotta get to work too.
Yeah, get to work.
But it was great chatting.
Fucking lazy Canadian. What?
We shouldn't have to work.
No,
right?
we shouldn't.
All the resources in this country belong to us as people that live on the land.
Yeah.
Right? All our bills and stuff are paid for under the act where Nixon changed from gold to the.
They came off the gold standard.
Came off the gold standard, right? So we're actually able to write off, or reset, or what's the other one? Rescission your phone bill, your electrical bill, all tickets that are given to this name, because this technically is a shipping, a manifest. Yeah. And they trade this on the stock market.
Well, I'll try that next time I'm trying to not pay my bill at TELUS and say,
I'm
see how that works.
I'm in the process of doing it myself.
Are you?
Is to resend because any bill you get is not in a minus. Like when it comes to you, it says the dollar amount. There's no minus or plus.
Yeah.
So they need your signature for you to resend it, which there's a certain process you have to do to resend it. And it's actually legally supposed to be accepted. So what the government is doing is they're triple and double dipping constantly. Through the fact that they're giving you a driver's license, you're paying for that. And then now once they've created that driver's license, they've created this whole system that they could charge you the rest of your life as long as you act under that system and not know that you can write off all those tickets. So I'm going to do that myself.
Give it a try.
Stay in contact. We could. It's
well,
up to you.
I've got your channel. Can I contact you through your channel?
I don't know how to do that. I have had a couple of people do that.
Well, do you not have an email on your channel?
I do.
Okay, I should be able to go into your description.
Okay.
Right, your channel description, because every channel has a description, because you need an email to start a channel, right? So usually in the channel description is your email. So I'll reach out to you through that way.
Sure.
All right. All right, man.
What's your name?
Brian.
Brian. Jack.
Nice to meet you, brother. Yeah.
I want my name.
I got you. Oh, there you go, folks. We got educated. They're gonna stick the RCMP on me. It wouldn't be the first time. Look at this. I can't even go back in the chat, and there's just way too much. Some of which he says makes sense. It does. Some of what he says, take it easy, brother. Some of what he says doesn't make sense to me, but it could be law for all I know, or it could be law, or it could be unlawful for all I know. I would literally literally, I would have to go and fucking do a deep dive on some of the stuff that he was talking about. I'm not 100% sure. It'll be a different code on his planet. Hey, you know what? It's one of the things, and we've talked about it before. As a Canadian or even as an American, you've got the right to think any way you want. I don't have to agree with him. I don't have to disagree with him. But he's got the right. He has the right to think any way he wants, and he has the right to fight any fight he wants. And that's one of the things about living in this country. And living in the United States, is you have that right to be able to stand up and say no. You have the right, and if you have the ability to go back and look at certain laws and how they were made and how they were put in place and why they were put in place and whether they are truly lawful, you have the right to do that. Again, how far you go with it and how fanatical you can get with it is entirely up to you. What is his channel? Somebody put his channel up here a while ago. What was it? I'll go back and see if I can see. Somebody, I can't remember. Fuck, the guy threw so much information into my head right now. My brain is fucking, I'll be honest with you. My brain is fucking screaming right now. I just got bombarded with a lot of information. Some of which, again, like I said, some of which I agree. Some of which I don't. Some of which I don't. What the hell was this? What the hell was his channel names? Anybody remember? My milkshake brings. That's how far back I went. Your milkshake? I can't remember. Anyway, there it is. Texas Mickey Jack. 4770 there. I'm sure if you look up Texas Mickey Jack, you'll probably find him. You know what? I wouldn't say that he's a nut job. No, not by any means. Crag Rat, is he crazy? No. I give him this. He's devout and he believes in what he's doing. And for that, I tip my hat to him. I do. And again, he has that right, as I do, or as anybody else does around here to do that. But it's funny that you say he's a nut job. He's a nut job. Why? Why do you think he's a nut job? Because it doesn't conform to you or me or the way we think? No. He thinks differently. He acts differently. That's fine. He's not doing what he did here. He didn't hurt me in any way. It filled my brain up, okay, and overloaded my fucking my neuro net. But is he a nut job? No, he's just dedicated to what he wants to do and the way he lives his life and how he sees life and everything like that. His dog is absolutely gorgeous. You guys should have seen this dog. It came up here. He jumped up here and his fucking head was right. The goddamn head on that dog was like this big. It was huge. Most beautiful dog. Absolutely gorgeous. He's eccentric. Okay, maybe he's eccentric. But you know what? It's one of those things. It's one of those things that, 10 years from now, we could all be wrong and he could be right. And he could be the leader of the free world for fuck all we know. And you're going to sit there bog-eyed and go, holy fuck, that eccentric motherfucker that sat there, 10 years ago on Wheel Burner's channel. Look at this guy go. Who knows? I don't know. I know what I believe. I know what I follow. He did give some food for thought. There are some things that, I might actually go home when I get home and take a quick look at and check out. But would I jump on board and to the level of, say, to the degree where he is in his belief? Probably not. But hey, again, he's got the right. At the end of the day, he's got the right. He's got that right. Just like I could go live tomorrow and turn out batshit fucking crazy, come out here and say all the most weird, bizarre, fanatical bullshit things in the world, and sometimes I probably have. I can, but I have that right. So I can't. I'm not going to judge him. I'm not going to judge him. If you want to judge him, judge him. If you think he's a nutcase, he's a nutcase. You think he's a nutcase, but I ain't going to judge him. He's got that right. Yeah, exactly. Tennessee, that's true. What we can think what we want, whatever works for you. Whatever works for you, exactly. Whatever works for you. It's your life to live. It's not mine. You know, you live any way you want. I live any way I like, and it's one thing that we've obviously we've talked about before, is I've got that right to live. You have that right to live any way you want, and I will respect that. I don't have to like it. I don't even have to fucking agree with it, but I will respect the fact that this is how you want to live your life. Knock yourself out. I think he was the guy that stole my tight white jacket with the shiny buckles. Hey, whatever. No, whatever. That's an awesome T-shirt. Adventures, thanks, man. This one here is one of one of my originals. This one's probably from the early '90s. This one here, I keep. It gets washed and gets hung. It doesn't go through the dryer, and it's really faded, as you can tell, right? And as you can tell, look at the material. I'm surprised the neck is still it still holds. Like I can go like this and just, it's like, oh. So I got to be careful with this one. I don't wear them very often. I've got 2 or 3 that are originals. Every other shirt that most of the shirts you guys see me wearing, the band shirts that you see me wearing, are all reproductions or whatever like this. But this is not bad. I like this one. I wore it today. I actually went into the closet and got it. Just for you. Just for you. It's worth like $400. I wouldn't sell it for $400, Adventures. I wouldn't sell it for $400. You offer me $400 right now? Nope, I'm keeping it. This one came from a concert, right? You can't replace that. I can't replace this shirt. I can go get a reproduction of this shirt. I've seen this shirt. You go to any of the stores. I've seen the shirt. I can get a reproduction, but I can't get this one. Even for $800, I still wouldn't. Again, because I was at the concert and got it at the concert. So, no. 1,200, okay, come on. I'm gonna keep it real. Let's think about this. There is a number. Everybody has a number, right? Everybody's got a number. At some point or another, somebody's gonna hit the right number, and I'm gonna go, yeah, okay, fuck. But it ain't for $800. $10K, done. Not a goofy bootlicker. You send me $10,000. $10,000 and I'll send you the shirt. Matter of fact, for $10,000, wherever you are, I'll bring it to you for $10,000. 3K, that number I would be. I'd probably sell it for $3,000, and then go get it and then go pay $29 for a reproduction. Okay, for $3,000. Now Tennessee, if you're gonna pay me $3,000, or if somebody's gonna pay me, it has to be American. I want $3,000 American, right? So now I'm at $4,800 Canadian. So I have all my band T-shirts from the '90s. You know what, Adventures? I used to have, I don't know how many I had, easily 2 dozen. And over the years, you pack, you move, you pack, you move. Some of them wear out, they rip, whatever. If you're like me, you wear band shirts a lot. Right? I'm always wearing a band shirt. It's either, Metallica, AC/DC. What I've got a whole fucking closet full of them. And because I wear them a lot, with the exception of this one and a couple others, they wear out, right? They wear out. So I guess I probably had about 2 dozen at one point, and they just rip, wear out, fucking fade out. They're no good anymore. Once I rip it, like if this thing here, like the material on this one here, I could probably, if I wanted to, if I went I grabbed it, pinched it here and here, and went like that, it would come apart, right? So I got to be careful with this one. I'll give you 2 crates of Iron Brew. Nope. I'm in Guantanamo Bay. For $10,000, I'd still bring it to you. I'd make the trip. I have an original Tupac shirt, and CD, the double one, All Eyes Are on Me album. I don't know, and honest to God, fuck, I don't know what that would be worth. I don't know. It could be worth 10 grand. It could be worth $10. I don't know. I don't know I don't really know a single Tupac song. What size shirt do I wear? Extra large. Extra large. What if I'm from Colombia? Would you fly for? Yeah, I'd dude, if you're in Colombia, you pay me 10 grand American, I will bring you this shirt. But I want the money first. It's not 5,000 up front and 5,000 when you deliver. Show me the money. Double XL, I'd say. I was. Put it this way: my t-shirt size varies depending on what I ate that day, right? If I've eaten lean and I haven't gorged myself on anything, I can get into an extra large and it's comfortable. This is probably a double X, right? This was probably a double X. No, 10,000 pesos. No, it's okay. You can keep those. I don't know what 10,000 pesos is worth in Colombia. What 10,000 Colombian pesos is worth in Canadian. Same with, I think Mexico runs in pesos as well. I don't know. What if I'm in the fiery pits of hell? Dude, I've already been there. I know my way there. Now, if you're in the fiery pits of hell and I show up, I won't be in good condition when I get there. Okay. I'll be having something waiting across the pond for you. Yeah, okay. It better be good. If I'm coming all the way across the pond, it better be good. Tennessee, I'm Colombian, but I'm from Florida. Shouldn't that be Cuban? I'm a keep it real. Shouldn't you be? That's talk about pigeonholing somebody, eh? Stop calling me dude. Uh-oh. Did I insult somebody? You been to hell? How was it? They threw me out. They didn't like me. Then I got clean and sober. After which I have no desire to go back. That's why I said if I end up in the pits of the bowels of hell, I won't be in good condition till I get there. When I get there. Okay. I wonder how long it was going to take. As soon as I'm a keep it real says that stop calling me dude. Tennessee TV, Latin women my weakness. There you go. How long did that take? Fucking 2 comments? 2 comments. Stop calling me dude. Then I'm a keep it real made another comment in Tennessee hit with Latin women. That didn't take long. I'm a keep it real. Do you and Tennessee want a few minutes here? We can hook this up. He's got a weakness and sounds like you might be interested. I'll give you a couple minutes here. I just wasted fucking 45 minutes of your time talking to Jack here. So, do you still drive truck? No, man, I'm retired. Sold. The Freightliner's been sold, and I no longer drive. Done. I had enough. It's not worth going any farther. The money is not there for the amount of work you have to do. It's just not. I used to regularly go to hell 3 times a week, aka London. Well, you could say the same thing about Toronto. Keep it real, I just love them. The features and the skin, the perfect color, and the accents. Tennessee. Never mind the nice olive complexion skin and It's the accents, the Latin accents. Oh my God, it's incredible. Did you ever go over the Peace Bridge? I've adventures. I've been over every bridge at every border, or wherever, from between Canada and the U.S. Whatever bridge there is. I've crossed just about. I think the only border I have not crossed is no, because that's North Portal. I've crossed there too. No, I've crossed them all. Why do lots of Americans say they like Latin women but don't approach us as often as you think? Keep it real. You're asking me? I don't know. Honestly, don't have a clue. You're asking the wrong guy. Ask Tennessee. No garage. Hold on. Garage Days, good album. Notice how I didn't say CD or good music. No, good album. Right back then when it came out, it was an album. No point flogging a dead horse, eh, Brian? You got it. Well, thanks, guys. I'm surprised y'all didn't say it was because your ass. Well, you got to have some class. Even Tennessee, even Tennessee's going to say, you can have a little class and be polite, be gentlemanly. He's going to be a gentleman about it, right? You don't just come out and say, Brazilian women or Latin women or whatever women, I like them because of their big asses. Although to a lot of guys, it's a real big selling feature. Keep it real. I don't waste time on that. I've approached several and dated a few. There you go. I was engaged to a Brazilian for 6 years. Yeah, and you're still bald. I'm a eats chicken feet. Knock yourself out. Okay, cool. That's wild. You know what? It was time. I was still at the top of my game. Why get out on the downward slide, right? At my age, I'm still able to drive. I'm still able to be competitive with all the young guys out here, and even more so, I can still smoke the ass off probably 90% of these new guys out here trucking. But why? Why wait until you're on that downward slide and it starts to become a chore, and it's a fucking job, and it's not something you love to do. So, only downside is arguments y'all don't play. They don't. Yeah, Latin women don't argue well. You lose. Even if they're wrong, you still lose, right? But then Tennessee, that's with any woman, right? I've never won the war when it came to women. I've won a couple battles, but I've never won the war. And in my mindset, I never will. Right? You'll never win the war against a woman. You're feisty. Latin women are feisty. I'll give you that. There's no question about that. We tell lies though, like, oh, we just love your personality. Yeah. She's so sweet. I just love her personality. Yeah. I love you. Be careful. Be careful. Yep, agreed. 100%. Glad you were. Thanks, man. Took a lot of work to get here, and that doesn't mean that I don't have my hands in a little of this, something else. It just means that I'm not driving. I'm not working full time. I'm not, but there's always you always got to keep your hands in doing something. I'm 55 years old. I'm not going to sit around. I can't play that much golf. Right? Me either. I just walk away. There you go. Well, hold on. What was that? Over the last 7 years, a Brazilian and a job. Oh, my head is fucked now. Yeah. Well, me either. We just walk away up. That's not completely true. I play fair sometimes. I try to play fair sometimes, or most of the time. It's, it's called picking your battles. It really is. Pick your battles. I'm never going to win the war, so I pick my battles. I'm in a position right now where I don't have to do that. I don't. You know, I'm with a woman now that I don't think we've ever had a sour word to each other in the whole time we've been together. Not one. You know, we may not agree on some things, but we've never come to terms where it's been an argument or a nasty, there's never been any nastiness or anything like that. We may not agree on certain things, and that's fine. I don't have to agree with everything that she agrees with in life, and she doesn't have to agree with everything that I agree with in life in order to have a meaningful and productive relationship. I don't like arguing, but I'm going to keep it real, no pun intended. I just tune old lady out when she's ranting and say, "Get me a beer, hun." And then comes the frying pan. We control 100% of the poontang. Well, the poontang is a very big. It's a dangerous weapon. It is, right? You think about this statement. My grandfather told me this as a young boy, right? Poontang is one of those things. As a man or as a male, you spend the first 9 months of your life trying to get out, and the rest of your life trying to get back in. Tell me I'm wrong. Any man in the chat right now, unless you're gay, okay, that's a different story. But unless you're a gay man, tell me I'm wrong, right? You spend the first 9 months of your life trying to get out, and the rest of your life trying to get back in. And he was it was absolutely right, absolutely right. Latin women have nothing on Scottish when it comes to feisty. Oh, dude, I don't know. Mind you, I've never dated a Scottish woman or been involved with a Scottish woman. I've known a few. I'm related to one, and yeah, they're feisty. But I don't know. I'd like to see you take a Scottish woman and a Latin woman, put them in a room, and let them go. That'd be good. Good chatting. Got to go cut grass. You have a great day. Adventures with Cell Bomb. Thanks, man. Tennessee, thumbs up and subscribe. Yeah, guys, hit the thumbs up if you don't mind. Galama, I'm right. I know that one there. I know I'm not right. That, believe me, I didn't make that up myself. That came straight from a very wise old man, right? It's funny that the older men in my family, they live their lives with cliches, right? That was just a cliche, right? You spend the first 9 months of your life trying to get out, the rest of your life trying to get back in. What was the other big one? The other big one for me was every man, and this is every man in this chat. Every man. If you're a woman, you're exempt from this. But every man in this chat, okay, you can identify every single problem in your life by two colors, pink or green. Every problem you've got, it doesn't matter what it is, through the scope of your life, business, home life, fucking personal, whatever, it's pink or green. Your problem, that's your problem. It's either poontang or money, pink or green. And that was the other cliche. Except they, instead of poontang, my grandfather used the word pussy. But it's pussy or money. That is the every man in the chat. And the very last one was, and I've said this 1,000 times because I'm a truck driver and I've owned a lot. It's if it's got tits or tires, it's going to cost you money, right? If it's got tits or tires, it's going to cost you money. Well, dude and dudettes, I've owned a lot of trucks and vehicles, and that's a lot of tires. And I've got, I've got a girlfriend now, had wives, and I've got 6 daughters, and that's a lot of tits. A lot of tits and a lot of tires. And it's cost me a lot of money. When it comes to Clinton and his desk, I say that, oh boy, hey, whatever. All problems caused by pink can be solved with green. Hey, man, how you get out of your own fucking personal problems is entirely up to you, bootlicker. But you know what? I don't have enough green to get me out of all the pink. You need a lot of green to get out of that pink. Let me tell you, man. That's just the way life is. Myself personally, I've enjoyed spending that money a lot of the times. I really have. Probably more than I probably should have. Pink or green. So I've got over here, I don't know if you can hear it, I've got a grass crew coming. They're going to cut down all this shit, so the whippersnippers. So I'm going to smoke this one and we're done. Smoke this one and we're done. Tennessee says facts. Well, you can thank my grandfathers and my father for those. Believe me, I didn't make any, those are not original thoughts, right? Those are not original thoughts. I did not come up with those by myself. I just, I was told those as a boy, and well, there we go. We only had one ticket, one number on the Powerball ticket. Well, that ain't gonna win you shit. The one thing I do like about the Powerball and the U.S. lotteries is, like, you guys, your tickets are not that expensive. Like, for example, like up here we have two major lotteries, right? We got 649 and we got Lotto Max. A 649 ticket is $4. A Lotto Max ticket is $6. So for one of each, I play, one of each a week. That cost me $10. I think for $10 in for the Mega Millions or whatever. What are those? How much are those tickets? Right? What, $2 or $1 or something like that? $3 with the power play. Yeah, it's $4 with the power play. They call it the encore, right? So it's $4 with the encore and $6 with the encore on the Lotto Max. But still, $3. Just because you can don't mean you should. Sometimes old man always said, no, that's fuck, man. I wish I had adhered to that too far. There's a lot that happened in my life that I shouldn't have done just because I could have done it. $2. My two exes, a Latino and a Scottish girl, nearly meant that would have been World War III. Yeah, and you'd have been right in the fucking middle of that. Also, don't let pure common sense stop you, boy. I've heard different versions of that. Yeah, don't let common sense. Or how have you gotten this far without no common sense? That was another one. Common sense isn't taught. Either you have it or you don't. I'm telling you right now, 2-4, you could walk out the door of your house right now, probably walk 60 feet into a group of people, and within 5 minutes, you're going to know people. You can say, okay, this guy's got common sense, and you can look at the other guy, and this guy's got no common sense. Common sense is not something that's taught. Morals are taught, manners are taught, that kind of thing are taught. Common sense is not taught. It's either you got it or you don't. My life advice growing up was everyone gets a trophy and you can be anything you want to be. Not mine, bootlicker. Not mine. My advice growing up was not everybody gets a trophy, so if you want it, you go get it. Right? Second place sucks. There's no trophy for second place. Exactly. Fear not pure. Okay. The same as I said to you earlier, the truth cannot be told. It must be realized. Exactly. Common sense is what you acquire through your life. As you get older, then you acquire common sense. It's not, you can't go to a classroom and be taught common sense. It's not something that can be taught in a school or a university or your parents can't sit you down and teach you common sense. Either you have it or you don't. And it's something you acquire as you get older. And then at some point in your life, you require common sense to carry on the rest of your life. And you never stop acquiring it. Common sense never, you don't hit 21 and all of a sudden you've got all the common sense you're ever going to need. No. And the biggest test anything in life can take is time. There's one thing in time is the only thing you can never get back, right? But also, life is one of the shittiest things in the world because it gives you the test first and the lesson later. Remember that, Tennessee. Life gives you the test first and the lesson later. You don't get the lesson and then you take the test. My old boy used to say, don't trust anyone that spits brown or dribbles white. They're either an arse licker or a cocksucker. One or the other. You learn the stove is hot by touching it. Exactly, right? Your mom's going to tell you when you're 5 years old, she's going to tell you 100 times, don't touch that fucking stove. Don't put your hand on that burner. You're going to do it. And then once you've done it once, you'll never do it again, right? But meanwhile, she's told you probably 25 times, don't do it. But after you do it, you won't do it again. Test first, lesson later. Just the way it works. That's life. And then you get to a point where you get into your older years, right? And, you basically require your common sense to get through life. Because if you don't, you just either fall behind or the world leaves you off to the side. Again. Your dad told you that, eh? Yeah. My dad didn't tell me that. I've heard the same thing. How do you trust any animal that bleeds for a week and doesn't die? But it was not once a month. It was any animal that bleeds for a week and doesn't die. How can you trust that? Well, funny enough, though, Tennessee, we do, don't we? Right? We do. We trust them. I trust my animal explicitly. She's never crossed me or done me wrong. I trust her explicitly. Yep. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. Yeah. Well, that's a funny thing. Do hemorrhoids count? I don't know. Do they? On what ledger are you putting the hemorrhoids? If your dog don't like somebody, pay attention. I believe in that. I truly do. I've always had dogs, and dogs are a better sense of a man's character or a person's character than any person is. I grew up in a country where we were told never touch the electric stock fence. So what did you do? Dude, I did the same thing. Grabbed a cattle fence, electrified cattle fence. Don't touch that, Brian. It's going to hurt. Don't touch that, Brian. It's going to hurt. Fuck sure as shit. Grabbed it with both fucking hands. Don't stick your finger in the light socket. Yeah, I believe that dogs can definitely tell the bad people. Oh, they definitely can. They definitely can. It's up to you to pick up on that instinct of your animal, right? I truly believe that. If your dog, walks up to somebody and they go to pet your dog and the dog lets them pet you, but that dog's tail's down and the fur on the back of its neck is up, there's something wrong with that fucking guy. Man, when I was a kid, I pissed on a cattle fence and had no idea. Oh my God, I'll never forget it. I've never done that. Maybe I'll go try it, Don't tell me not to do it 25 times too far and I'll probably go do it. Exactly. I leaned on an electric fence, a horse fence at a horse farm. You only do that once. Exactly. But those are life's lessons, right? You don't do it again. Common sense. Common sense tells you don't do it again. When you get electrocuted to the point where you're fucking, your dick gets hard and you didn't do it because of her, you learn that lesson real fucking hard. Your hair stands up. Your fucking hair starts smoking. The hair on your back is gone. The palms of your hands are fucking burnt. Yeah, I learned that. Anyway, the smoke is gone. The coffee's expended. Time to go home. I gotta pee. I don't know, 198 minutes. So we've been out here for 3 hours or so. 3.5 hours, whatever. 3 hours, 20 minutes. That's long enough. Seeing spots. Don't play Russian roulette with a semi-auto either. No, I don't advise you do that. You guys, I'll see you guys. Let's say we'll see you tomorrow. Let's do this again tomorrow. See if we can get out maybe a little bit earlier, and maybe catch that sun as it comes over. I've been getting a little late, getting out here a little late, and the sun's already been up. But I really enjoy watching the sun as it comes over the horizon. So, see if we can get out a few minutes earlier tomorrow and get that sunrise. Never tell a woman they are wrong. Or never, ever, while a woman is furious with you, never, ever look her in the eye and say, hey, calm down. I dare you to do that, especially with a Latina or a Scot, or never mind, but any woman. That's a lesson I learned. I've never done it. You go ask Victoria right now, when she's either been emotional or been upset, have I ever said to her, hey, calm down? Are you out of your fucking mind? If I ever did that, I would put my hands in my pocket, or I would hand her the frying pan, put my hands in my pocket and say, go ahead, swing away, take your shots, I deserve it. Are you out of your fucking mind? Won't do that again. Anyway, fuckers, I'm out. I gotta go pee. I've been sitting here for 3.5 hours. I drank coffee. What do you want? I gotta pee. So let's say we'll do this tomorrow morning. We'll do this again tomorrow. Crag Rat, thanks for being here. Tennessee, awesome to see you, brother. Thanks for hanging in there with us today. Or actually, we're going to do this, Tennessee, before you fuck off. Here. Tennessee, make a comment. Preach, Brian, I've done it. Well, I've done it too and didn't come out on the winning end of it. Let me fucking tell you that. Still got the bump back here to prove it. So anyway, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm gone. See you down the road.